short or was it a full?
Oh, God.
I guess it was a short. No, it was a short. It was like a 30-something minute.
I was full of it in high school.
I don't know. What would you count as the first documentary? Because the Steve Llama made us do some shit. You know what I mean?
No.
Steve Llama.
Oh, we're live. We're live.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening yet. You know, we could banter.
Happy birthday.
We could toss it around and see
We
who's
can toss the salad.
toss what up.
Anyway.
Is there any way you can put like if there's comments like right there?
That's what this is
This
for.
is YouTube or this is Facebook though?
that's beautiful.
Oh, it's
Supposed to be both.
it's both. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Supposed to be- Can I switch in you? I lost you.
Does it also show like if people are in this one?
Yeah.
Well, I just suggest that Austin send us the first one.
The first what?
Like a first question or something.
Well,
Oh no, it's gonna come up live.
Remember, this is going to be recorded for people to see later on, so we
No,
can...
no. Yeah, it is. But yeah, it'll be
We
fine.
live,
Okay.
though.
We're
treating it
tuning
as
in.
live.
You know,
but let's introduce it,
wait,
right?
Wait,
Let's
wait,
introduce
wait, wait. Before you introduce it,
Mm-hmm.
let me introduce a random thought that was in my head.
And then I'll introduce what I'm drinking.
Well, you're part of the thought.
Okay.
Castro was
You are a
asking,
thought.
Matt Box, yay or nay?
Matt box?
Yeah.
Oh yay, baby.
You don't need it.
Yeah, you
What
do.
for?
You know, it's because I told him like I can't justify paying $120 for a Mad Box.
If you don't look, okay.
Because look, I've done research and it's mostly just for show.
I mean, yeah, it is.
Yeah. It is.
That's why he's yay.
That's why I'm yang. No,
It
but
looks
listen,
cool.
a matte
God.
box. Yeah, if you're not using filters, it's kind of pointless, right? But it's pretty.
Yeah.
It makes me look
No,
cinema.
I also think just it completes the rig to an extent of
Preach.
making your rig look more cinematic, right? As opposed to you're shooting on a DSLR.
Yo, mama look
Unless
more
you're shooting on an
cinematic.
Arri.
Ooh, that's a
you
pretty good way to put it,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Short of that, you're shooting on a handheld
You
camera.
want it to
you know what I'm
look
saying?
more-
You want the rig to look a little more, especially like if you're going to be shooting publicly and people are seeing you shoot it on this as opposed to shooting on a rig. It does kind of validate you a little bit.
Exactly, especially like with us that see stuff like that. It's like
Yeah.
You know,
he doesn't have
people
Mad Box, you're automatically green.
in
Right.
the freelance realm.
For you guys.
What?
Who cut your
John
hair?
Young, who cut your hair?
whose hair? My hair?
Who's
Well, I'm wearing a hat, so why
Yeah,
would
it
they
says
ask?
this
one-
guy has an awesome freaking haircut
Who
right
cut
now.
my hair?
Yeah, who cut your hair?
You know what?
The same barber as your son.
Whoa.
Actually, not this time around, but
Shots
mostly.
fired.
Mostly.
You know, I tried.
guess.
I don't
Who
know
cut
if you
my
recently
hair?
saw the Ryan Garcia interview where he's using Jergens as lotion as a
As a hair product?
hair product. It
That
looks pretty
makes kind of
sick.
sense, man. Like
Really?
what I use is kind of just lotion. Like the product I use,
Yeah.
it's like a Mexican
Jergens?
styling
Have
cream.
you seen Ryan Garcia's hair? You guys have like
I don't know who that is.
he's a boxer.
Okay.
Is that? Oh, I think okay. I think I know
Yeah,
who he
he
is.
used to be like Canelo's prodigy.
Ah, man.
Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, okay, yeah.
Face.
He's got a nice haircut, dude. Like,
Jergens.
yeah,
gonna try that.
But his looked like he just came out of the shower for like 3 hours straight. though.
Oh, okay. I don't like to look too shiny. Like right
Yeah,
now, it looks
okay,
kind
yeah.
of shiny. You know?
You, look
You have
like
to
a
see
half
it.
Matte.
Yeah, like a half matte. Half matte's good.
Anyways,
We're not here to
Wait,
talk about my
I was
hair.
just waiting for people to show up.
No, we're
no, we can still talk about it.
yeah. I mean, you know,
That's true. That, and then we can start off with the ones that
Yeah,
nobody said.
Yeah, that's
I
a
like
good point.
films, and this had a lot of them. You know?
Yeah.
Well, welcome back
Oh.
to the WatchTower Film Podcast, the film review podcast on the Towercast Network by Cinephiles for Cinephiles.
Wow.
This is a very special edition
Let's go.
of the WatchTower Film Podcast as we recap the 96 Academy Awards.
The top of the top.
From beginning to end, every category. And we're trying something different. Let us know if this works. Last
Yeah.
year we did it the day of. A
I've
lot of
always-
you tuned in. A lot of people were interactive. But this time around, we're like, let
Yeah.
people simmer on the decisions and see what it does.
We all saw the Oscars, and you know, if you were excited about it, you were tuning in live with ABC or
ABC.
affiliate link.
Peacock.
Did you watch it or what?
I
Are
think
people
up here
watching
we
it
watched it
on
on Peacock. And
No,
then
we
down-
watched it on ABC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
I was wondering what streaming service, dude. Netflix is killing with that shit, man. Like
What are you talking
did the SAG Awards were live on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yes,
streaming
genuinely,
stuff
they
like
were
that.
live on Netflix.
I didn't know that.
Streaming services are taking over, man.
Just like Amazon did a
Well,
couple.
yeah, Amazon's taking over like the NFL
Yeah.
Thursday night, right?
Which kind of sucks because people can't watch it like on just regular,
Regular TV.
channels.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
kind of
they
like how
haven't had
people were
that for
having
a
with the
while.
NFL Network, right? Like if you didn't have the NFL Network,
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll
it
miss
was
a
that
couple
type of-
games during the season. You're like, come on.
Yeah, it's kind of wonky.
But that was going on for a while, yeah.
Hey, why does it say test, Austin?
Because he was testing it earlier.
Oh,
so that way people wouldn't know when they got in.
But now they're in and it says test.
No, but nobody's gonna see that part.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, in case you didn't know, we can see if you're commenting
Yeah.
on this
Which
episode.
is a great upgrade compared to last year where
Yeah,
Austin
no,
was just
I
like
mean-
calling them out. So this
Yeah.
is awesome. Joining me today is my fellow co-host, Mr. Michael Delao.
Hi, I'm recovering from a cold.
He is recovering from.
You're gonna say something else. I'm a recovering addict. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's true. Also, Mr. John Aragosino.
How you guys doing?
He's starting a cold.
Is it acting connoisseur or connoisseur?
Connoisseur.
No,
Yeah, right. Because it's two double N.
no,
no,
no
it's-
D.
No,
I'm
D,
an
right?
actor. That's all you gotta say.
I'm an actor.
Give me blue steel. Give me blue steel.
Oh my god.
Oh, we're supposed to steal.
Nothing.
The one from Zoolander.
Oh.
Zoolander? Yeah. Mr. Austin Young, making sure we're sounding good on the ones and twos, and
By the way,
live switching, switch all of them at the same time, just like a party, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
wow. Wait, you know what you should do? You should be
Oh, we
doing
can't see
the
it, though.
Star Wars fade or like the.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That,
Oh my gosh.
dun.
You got
He has
another-
all yeah.
Can you guys see it?
I can't.
I can see it from this corner. Yeah.
The wipes, I can see your screen.
If you can
The
move your
little-
screen a
the
little
subtle
bit,
You're gonna get
Zhao.
you get cheeky with it.
Oh.
We have
Nah, nah,
comments,
nah,
by the
nah,
way.
So the next comment we have
Cheeky.
is one, okay. There's two. On YouTube, we have John Young asking, "How could you guys all miss the obvious choice, Best Picture?"
we're still going through them though.
We're here.
I think he meant like he knows per Austin's, I'm sure, communication that we were all expecting Killers to
Yeah,
win,
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
and, or wanted to at least.
Oh.
Hey,
And
we got
then-
one for Jonathan too. So
John.
yes, it is awesome. I can George Lucas.
I can George Lucas.
I
Because
bet
of
you
the
can.
fades and-
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
funny.
okay, okay,
That's
Cool.
hilarious.
Thanks for joining us,
Comedy gold.
Jonathan.
Oh, man. A lot to talk about this year's Oscars.
Yeah, very interesting, very interesting.
I
Year.
think we all had picks that we felt were very locked in. And I think based on our Oscar preview episode, we thought it would be a lot more well-rounded.
Yeah.
And this one was very clean cut and very much towards the two films that were both the highest nominated for this year, which was Oppenheimer and Poor Things. I was
Yep.
so surprised Poor Things got
Just
as
how
many
much love it
wins.
got, right?
Yeah,
But you
because-
guys said that this year wasn't political.
I don't think it was in
Yeah.
most of the choices. Actually, I
Yeah.
was really happy with that.
because you could tell that a lot of it was off of merit. All the political choices I felt were very much towards
there? Were
they
there
were
any?
Was there
towards-
one?
Yes, they were towards the merit of the war going on right now in Gaza.
Oh, yeah.
and like the
war's over
Yeah,
and-
documentary feature, animated short.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the? Oh no, live action wasn't there, but those ones were definitely more geared towards like, we don't want to make these films. We're hoping that these are just something to highlight a current problem, but we're hoping this will help to change that because
yeah.
even in the speech for best documentary
Yeah,
feature,
yeah.
they were talking
He
about
was
that. They were
like-
I don't want to be up here right now saying, "Oh, I made a good film." He's like, "This
Oh,
film
yeah,
was
man,
about
that was rough.
yeah, like everything that we're dealing with, all the people that are suffering, even like people that are in the film that have now been executed, like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Those
heavy
were the only
topics,
like
for
big
sure.
political ones, but
But that's where politics should stay, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in cinema, that's where politics should stay. Is
yeah.
I wanted to tell the story, but I don't want you to celebrate my win. I want you to pay attention to the
No,
message
yeah.
we're trying to get across.
That's it,
That's
yeah.
where politics should stay, not, oh, we have to select this winner or we have to vote for
And-
this winner because they're A, B, C, or D.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of controversial wins, I guess.
Well, we have a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. Let's get.
Well, we're
let's
just talking
kind of-
about documentary.
Well, yeah, we can jump into those. What did you
Let's
guys
see
think
too,
about
Jonathan.
the big thing, the monologue from Kimmel? Any thoughts? Any notes?
Come on.
No notes.
I was surprised, man. Kimmel could come off a little.
He knew how to balance it out.
Yeah.
He had his
Kimmel-
jabs.
Towards the end, I was like, man, everybody loves him.
I rewatched the
Which is-
monologue this morning, and it was really interesting to see where. God, I didn't think about it, but this past year we just came off of the strike, and that was a big note that he put in, like, "Hey guys, like it's crazy us coming back from like there being a big strike, us really putting down, movies, streaming, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of noting it as a big win, but
And
then
even
Yeah.
taking a little bit of the Gervais route of like, you guys did this. You guys voted for the strikes. I don't know what to tell you.
no, yeah,
Like,
no, he
yeah.
even did that for like
I loved how he took a jab at the directors and he was like, on the directors, you guys caved immediately.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's funny.
but
By
he
the
was
way-
saying that towards
Jonathan was actually is commenting that he's like, I don't dislike Kimmel, but I'm kind of numb to him as a host now. That's kind of something I was gonna say. I'm not numb
Yeah.
to him as a host. I think Kimmel is a really good constant.
Yeah.
I think he's just
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
constant. Like, you're not gonna have a disappointing
But I-
hosting job from Jimmy Kimmel.
But I'd rather have Ricky. Because
Well, yeah.
he pushes the edge and he
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
care if
yeah.
people get offended, which is...
Yeah.
I think he just kept
But
it neutral.
I mean, that's also not what award shows are about, though, right?
It's entertainment.
no, because
It's
I feel like
entertainment. It's
Ricky,
entertainment.
Yeah, I mean-
Ricky has that like political notion to him, like right,
Yeah.
like if he wants to like
Oh,
call
that's
people
kinda
out,
You know, that's what I'm saying.
he'll make it political.
That's not
Because
what
even
the
like the
award
year
show's
that
about.
Ricky was there, I think it was for the Globes, right?
Yeah, he
Point
did the
taken.
Globes like 3 years in a row.
Yeah,
or
no,
something
he,
like
he
that.
was calling out everybody, but you
Which-
could tell in the audience they were even like, "Oh, am I not supposed to laugh or
And
clap?"
like Carlos said, it kind of like overshadows
Yeah.
what we're really
I
celebrating.
just always feel like Kimmel's been my favorite late night guy forever.
yeah,
Honestly, ever since
Fallon?
over Fallon, dude, for sure. I can't stand Fallon
kind of
sometimes.
goofy.
I can't stand Jimmy.
I just feel like
I'm a
he's the
Conan
most
man
kind of
myself.
like
Me
he's
too.
not trying to impress you. He's just there to do his job. He's still being entertaining. He's still being funny. He's still doing the bits, but he's not trying too hard.
Yeah, I'll give you
And
that.
Fallon tries too hard.
He kisses butt a little
You know what I
bit.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But that's also a tell on like paying attention to guys like Johnny Carson and David
Oh,
Letterman, and
the
those guys
legends.
weren't trying.
No, those
you
were
know, they were
legends.
just being there to be funny and do their thing. And
You
so
wouldn't
that's
want
what
you. I remember I saw Jimmy and hosting the MTV, I think, movie awards.
Mm-hmm.
He was great. You wouldn't want him to do like the Oscars?
I just feel like Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Oh, he'd be a good host. He'd be a
be a
good
good
host.
host.
I just
I
feel
loved him
like
in the MTV
Kimmel. Everybody thought he was going
Oh.
to grow out of this this persona because he came from the Man Show. Like he was just a
Very
man's
true.
man. He was just. I think he
Quick-
grew as an
he grew up,
individual
for sure.
but he didn't change, and I kind of appreciate that.
He still kept
you
the
know?
same humor.
Quick
So-
side note:
yeah.
Jonathan's saying that he's disappointed that he didn't make a joke about the writer's strike, and that if he did, it didn't land. But he did make a joke.
It was
I'm
just
looking
about
at
all the
you,
strikes.
Jonathan. No, he kind of made a joke just to the fact of like everybody standing together. He made a joke about the directors being the first to kind of cave.
Right, right.
Right.
I remember
And
that.
like he kind of made light of it, but also trying to mention all the people that the strike affected, not only the rich people, but also like the 90% of SAG actors who aren't able to make like a livable wage,
Yeah,
that had to also stand with the union. So
And that's what is it like if you watch Kimmel's late night stuff, his monologues do that. They're kind of a perfect blend of great comedy, like smart comedy, pointing out the issue at
Yeah,
hand.
yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's why I like Kimmel. I mean, don't get me wrong. His writers have a lot to do with it
No,
too.
I get it.
Yeah.
I like them
But-
too. I prefer more edgy people like Ricky.
Yeah. So I think Kimmel's a good constant. I also think this is probably like his last year hosting. You know,
Is there any such rule like you can only host a certain
no,
amount?
it's just whoever the Academy wants to bring in. But Kimmel's been a nice kind of like from us going to there's going to be no host to
Yeah.
let's have a host, but now let's have a non-controversial host that'll make people laugh.
and nobody slaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also,
Right.
last little note on the opening monologue. It was kind of cool that he did bring out a lot of like the crew, like the background crew at the very beginning. I don't know if you remember or saw this, but
I don't.
He was saying on top of us getting past the writer's strike, he says also production, we stand with you. We know that you're planning on going on strike soon, so just know that all of us writers, directors are ready to stand with you. And then all the background crew for the Oscars came up on stage, took a bow, and then went off. So and then they started the show.
Nice.
I'll say one last thing about the
Yeah.
the host.
Yeah.
Jimmy,
Not about Jimmy specifically, but Jonathan just commented.
the host.
I'd rather have Bill Burr, but I doubt we'll ever have him. And the thought
Has
that
he?
immediately
Sorry.
I don't think he
Okay.
has. But the thought that immediately came to me is,
Bill Burr would not be good.
well, no, when Rock, obviously when the Chris Rock thing happened,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a bunch of comedians kind of came to his rescue, right?
Yeah,
Like, yo,
yeah,
what the fuck? This is why comedians don't want to host your shows because you guys don't
That was
give
the
a
big-
shit.
that was the big uh-huh.
And what I kind of appreciate about that notion is, why do you need a comedian to do it? Sure, they're entertaining and sure they'll keep the pulse alive, but they're not court jesters, man, and you're limiting their comedy anyways.
But
You
I
know?
mean, okay, but then who would you put?
Well, for instance, Once Upon a Time, and by the way, I know he's a comedian, but he's not a comedian's comedian. He's a comedian. he's a popular guy. Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was supposed to host the Oscars a couple years back.
Oh, yeah, the whole
Then he got
controversy.
caught up in the controversy.
But that's
I
another
want. I
comedian,
would
though.
want. Yeah, I know, but not. I mean, come on.
What?
I mean,
Yeah.
now.
Kevin Hart? I mean,
Kevin Hart's an actor. He's more of an actor. He's more of a
movie star, for
producer.
sure.
He's more of a movie
But he's
guy.
a comedian at heart.
He is.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, go that route. You know, you're gonna try to get a
But
Bill
that's-
Burr
what-
or a Louis C.K. to host the Oscars. That's not gonna work.
But
You know
I
what
mean,
I mean?
okay, dude, then name me something that has worked. That's not been a comedian.
Kimmel.
Oh,
Kimmel's not a kid. No, he's not. He never did stand up a day in his life.
Oh,
He
Billy
basically
Crystal.
does stand up every night.
Oh, come on.
He's got the whole speech in the beginning. That's basically a 10-minute routine.
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal has the most
Billy Crystal, and he has-
records.
Yeah.
He holds the
Jonathan
record.
said Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackman. Sure. Hugh Jackman probably be great.
Jackson.
And then it was good. It wasn't boring. It
Yeah.
wasn't just like...
I don't think you need a comedian, and it also gives it a break to like put these guys in a position where you're going to set them up to fill. Look what happened to Joe
Also-
Coy.
Jonathan, what do you think, man?
He crashed and
and I
burned.
loved him, yeah, and
he
he
crashed
crashed
and
and
burned, man. You're
That was
selling
last
these,
year, right?
Yeah. No. He did the Globes. Or,
The Globes, yeah.
This year, but that's what I mean. You're setting up a comedian who you love to crash and burn because they're on network television where they can't curse, they can't do their shtick, they can't be honest. Ricky Gervais couldn't host the Oscars for the same reason, you know.
Yeah.
The Globes are a little more loosey goosey, right? But I just think, how about we give comedians a break? Bring on a quote unquote a Billy Crystal, you know. Bring on a Pedro Pascal
Ryan
to
Reynolds.
host the Oscars. Or
There's
Ryan
no
Reynolds.
way.
Well,
Like,
Pedro
he's actually-
Pascal.
He's pretty funny. He's charming and stuff, but I don't think it
You
would
know,
work.
A Ryan Gosling.
Nah, because
Bring
I
on
feel
a
No,
Ryan-
I don't think it would
no
work.
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, Ryan. Yeah, bring on a Ryan Reynolds. You know,
Because I
Ryan
feel
Reynolds
like
actually be cool,
they
'cause he's
they
so
have
slick
a
with it.
little
But
bit
that's
of
also comedic.
It's
He's-
a little
but he's
bit
not
of
a
comedy, but yeah,
comedian.
it's a little bit of comedy, but they also have like a showmanship towards the.
You guys agree?
showmanship. That's the key
Yeah.
word.
You guys agree?
That's the key word. Showmanship.
Yeah, the
It's
greatest
got to be
showman.
showmanship.
Look, I understand. It can't be over the top. You can't.
What about
overshadow-
John Cena?
Okay.
That's not a bad idea,
Moving on.
actually.
I'm
Moving
all Stone
on.
Cold.
Moving on.
Right. Well, we just got a comment.
I mean, he just.
What about John Cena?
Yeah.
What about John Cena? No.
Oh, yeah,
Next
let's talk about John Cena.
Yeah, let's talk about.
Okay,
Cena last
fine,
night.
fine. I guess a highlight from Cena is the big.
What was
everybody
it
talking-
about?
Huh?
Why did he do that?
Why did he do that?
He was in Barbie.
No, it wasn't.
No,
Yes, he
so the whole
was.
setup.
John
was
Cena made a
like-
cameo in Barbie.
Wow.
Yes, no, but the whole setup of him coming out nude was because, like, in the '80s, at
Oh,
the Oscars, somebody came
yeah.
out streaking.
And it
Oh,
was
that
it
was
was
So that
maybe
was
like
supposed to be the
the
whole thing. Yeah.
yeah like the 40th anniversary of
It was,
So
that.
it was a
wasn't
bit on
a-
a bit. It
Yeah.
was a bit on a bit. But the reason why he's relevant to this year's Oscars is
Couldn't
because
see him.
he was in Barbie.
I didn't know
And
that.
one of the Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah.
Oscars.
And
Yeah.
in cinema.
Relevant to Oscars.
I thought it was like a protest or something.
The
or
Rock was there.
Women. Or
Oh
something.
yeah.
That's true, he did present, but he was probably up for what? One of the animated.
Bad Bunny was there.
Oh, man, I'm getting tired of
Bad
that
Bunny
guy.
just acted in something. What was it?
Oh, with Brad Pitt and Bullet Train.
He was also in
Was it
Cassandra.
in Bullet Train?
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's
when he
acting
opens, like, he's just there on like ready to get into the train.
What the heck?
He's the guy with the
Oh
knife.
my god.
Yeah. And he also
about
played like a key part in Cassandra.
I don't know. He's dating my girl. That's why.
He's dating Ana de Armas?
No. Oh,
Oh. Which one?
Don't let that girl.
Which girl? Who's he? Oh, he's dating Kendall Jenner. Is that your girl?
that's my girl. That's one of my girls.
I like her too. I'm not gonna lie.
She's thirsty.
I couldn't see him, Jonathan. Ha 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 ha. ha.
It was awkward. I'll give you that. It was like,
It was funny.
It was really
I was
funny.
like, why
funny.
are you so ripped, dude? Like, you're not even in.
Yo, they went full
anymore.
fledged, man. Like he was probably wearing this tiny one, right?
Yeah.
Like
I bet you had a tape dog.
it's
There's
a
no
crime.
way.
that's what I'm saying. He would like a cloth.
A cloth like just
Digging
rubber
about.
bands.
Bang.
Oh, but somebody posted a video of like when they were announcing the different nominees.
Yeah.
How like a whole wardrobe team came out so they could like throw that on him and wrap him up, and then afterwards when the
Imagine.
lights came on, then Kid was like, "Yep, there you go." But like there was a whole team ready to go to
I-
make sure
yeah,
this
I
man.
bet
Yeah,
so.
man, those moments. Imagine having a Super Bowl moment at the Oscars where somebody just tears off whatever. They're
Yeah,
wearing.
imagine.
Look what happened to Emma Stone. Her dress tour. Poor
That-
thing.
that
She
was
was
pretty
like,
good, though. That's
poor
kinda
thing.
sick. And then what she said about it, I think it was during the I'm Ken performance.
Oh man,
I'm just Ken. I don't know. There needs to be a good balance, man. It also has to be somebody who has showmanship, but somebody who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about, right? Like,
you need to be involved in the industry.
Yeah.
As insane as it was, I give them credit for being that risky. For what?
I
For
mean,
for the John Cena thing, I
Yeah,
guess.
for sure.
Yeah, that was cool.
It,
cool.
was,
a good
it was
moment.
fun. It had moments of
definitely-
comedy.
Yeah.
I think everybody, you know,
I
like
can see memes, virals going off of it.
yeah.
I had pointed out while we were watching it, like because I was watching most of it on the road, and then I got here and we got to see it. I feel like whoever directed and produced this year, because they always get somebody big.
Oh,
Like
wow.
Spike Lee produced
I never
one
even
year.
thought about that.
Brett Ratner produced, directed one year. Like, they always get a big name director to direct the Oscars.
Who was it
Usually
this year?
always have. I don't know. I'm not sure who did it this year, but
Do you know?
but they did good.
Oh, yeah.
they did extremely
Oh.
well, man.
Also, I think all of us were kind of caught off guard at the fact that for the Best Picture announcement, there wasn't a recap. You know,
With the L?
yeah, that's another part, and we'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
into
I was
that.
gonna say,
but
yeah.
there wasn't like a recap. It was just kind of like, and it goes to.
It was
and then
weird.
He didn't like
Yeah.
say that. He was just like,
But the reason is
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And
Oppenheimer.
Nobody's going to say action. Okay.
What do you want me to say? Action? Yeah.
Where do
there
I
we
get my
go.
coat?
No.
Seriously.
It says Raj Kapoor.
Raj Kapoor. He's a producer though.
Raj Kapoor.
He's done some shit.
Hamaj Hamilton.
Okay.
Was
That's
the
not-
director. Yeah.
Awesome.
What's he done? Oh, but Raj Kapoor's a name. He's
But yeah, he produced it, but Hamaj Hamilton directed it.
I think you're
like
thinking
one
of-
year was Brian Grazer and Ron Howard. You know
Ron
what I mean? Like
Howard.
so, like there's always kind of that producer director team. Raj Kapoor, what has he done?
I think you're thinking of that Thor.
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
No, that's not. That's not at all who he's thinking of.
Why'd you go with me, dog?
I was trying to throw you off, and it worked.
What has he done?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Get
Am I wrong? Is he just like?
Where you going, man?
Yeah,
Come back.
TV stuff.
You're too cool.
He's too cool.
I miss
But
you.
Hamish Hamilton's a British director,
Okay.
and he's
British.
the one that directed the Oscars last night.
Okay, cool. I mean, they did good. You guys killed it, man.
Yeah. Props
I
to
thought
you guys.
not just on the timing. You guys were super keen on the timing, but
Everything was
everything
flawless.
yeah.
was flawless. I mean, not a dead moment. I don't think there was a dead moment in the ceremony. By the way, and proof is in the pudding. This is the highest rated Oscars in 4 years.
Oh, wow.
In terms of viewership,
Wow.
19 million, I think, or something like that. Which those numbers have been dwindling for the past few years. So
I feel like it just
in
picked up
4
because
years, this is the highest rated.
Why
I
do you
it
think
picked
that
up
is?
Because it was a really good film year. Like I mean,
That too,
Oppenheimer,
for sure.
Barbie, like
True. Zone of interest.
those
and all
really
that.
picked up.
But let's face it, most people at home haven't even watched the films. They're in it for the show.
No, I feel like this.
That's
year,
where. There we go. Now we're pinpointing it. That's why we have to have a
No,
comedian
man.
in there. No, I'm saying just to be all around.
Yeah. You disagree? You think people went to
Yeah.
the
19.5 million.
19.5.
I wonder how high those numbers spiked when John Cena came out.
Hey, right?
oh man,
I also think that's what's going to be interesting about these types of shows moving to streaming because you're going to be getting more people are on Netflix now than they're watching cable.
And
Let's
everybody
face
has
it, right?
Netflix, yeah.
So I think that's going to dictate a little more on how they. Because most people are also probably just watching this on their phone, right?
yeah.
But I'm just thinking, bro, like 10 years from now, everything's going to be off Netflix,
Everything's
man.
going to change.
Oh,
Everything's
man,
gonna
everybody's taking a piece of the pie. So
No
like,
more Channel 7, no more
Dude,
Channel
it's balanced
9.
out. Even like you see Paramount, like they were doing like NFL streams, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you're saying like the Critics' Choice was on Netflix. Like Hulu has the Oscars now. Like
Right.
And
they
Hulu
have-
has live sports.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
FX has the movies.
FX will always have dumb movies.
And Arby's has the meats. Moving on. Al Pacino was a peak presenter. He came out, said the name of the winner, boom.
Dude,
No, I
sucked.
think
So
he's
you
like,
should have
I
gotten
opened the
Joe
envelope.
Pesci to do that, Jonathan. Like, just come out and say,
Yeah, Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
He
I
came
would
out
have
said the
had.
name.
I don't know anybody. God.
No, yeah, that was kind of like awkward a little
Yeah.
bit, but
But anyways,
it's Al. It's a legend.
that's kind of the ceremony. We'll pinpoint little key moments as we
Yeah.
get to the categories. But let's go into the
Good questions.
some of the shorts and documentaries and
Let's get into the categories. Is what you're trying to say? No.
yeah. Well, that's where we're starting.
Well, you said
literally said the
shorts
same
and
thing.
documentaries.
Well, that's where we're starting.
Let's start with the documentary shorts.
Anyways, yeah, let's kick it off that way.
Okay. Best documentary short.
The Last Repair Shop. The Last Repair Shop took it, right? For best
Yep.
documentary short.
Sound
Well earned.
good.
Definitely.
I
I wasn't going to lie. I didn't watch him.
I mean, I
by the
watched
way,
it if it's
not the documentary
I,
shorts.
I usually watch them.
Don't you be
but-
lying, Craig.
Don't you lie? Why you all?
No. This was the first year that I saw that Alamo didn't have the documentary shorts like,
Oh.
like the block.
I wonder if that Shorts TV thing does all of them. I didn't look into it.
I think they do.
Yeah, so
I
like
think
even the
they're like a
documentary
new
shorts?
thing because
Yeah.
before it was
What's
somebody else.
Shorts TV?
We don't know for sure, but at least during the blocks at Alamo for live action and animated shorts, at the beginning and at the end, it was always curated by shortstv.com or something like that.
Yeah, it was like presented by Shorts
And
TV.
they curated it all together. So my assumption is that they're doing that kind of just consistently.
Yeah.
All of the contenders are just on one kind of streaming platform,
Oh.
with the exception of the Netflix ones, right? Because I'm assuming they got to be on Netflix.
No, but they were also presented on that Shorts TV. Like I think
Yeah.
they're cultivating all the shorts.
Shorts of the Week had them, I think. No, I don't think Shorts
Shorts
of
of
the
the
Week
Week
is
only
more
has a
indie.
few of them.
And it's also more indie. Shorts
No,
of the
but
Week.
you can apply. So a lot of
Yeah.
like Oscar winning ones later on will get trickled into Shorts of the Week.
Okay. After the ceremony,
yeah.
you think? Okay. Anyways, so yeah, best documentary short, The Last Repair Shop. Ton of buzz behind this. But
All right.
unless
Next
anybody
up.
has anything, so let us know what you think if something else should have
Yeah.
won. We didn't see most of these.
For
So.
best documentary feature, it was 20 Days in Marpool.
I heard a lot of buzz about To Kill a Tiger, man. I thought To Kill a Tiger was going to take it.
I think again, this is where I think they went political because that one it had a lot to do with the
Yeah.
whole war in Gaza and like it was super political in its message. It was super
Yeah.
political in like the speech, and you can just tell that these people are so passionate about trying to create an awareness where they can end the war. And I've been hearing it from war photographers and journalists saying that they wish that they didn't have to make this. They
Right,
wish
right.
that they could live in a world where this wasn't created, because the reason this is being made is because it's going on, it's relevant, and it's still happening. So if anybody goes back and looks at these like documentaries, it's going to encapsulate this period in time, the struggle the world's going in right now. So yeah, super interesting pick. Well earned win for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, documentary feature film.
Yeah. I mean, it's very. We're talking about kind of off camera how.
Oh, I do have a note on the documentary feature film.
Yeah.
After they presented that and had this very emotional speech about the war in Gaza,
Yeah.
the orchestra, to play them off,
Oh,
Played
was
I'm
directed
Just
to
Ken.
put "I'm Just Ken."
disrespectful, man.
I thought it was the dumbest thing because it's like they talk about like hopefully war ends and we can see our children grow up. I'm just Ken. It's like, oh my god, why are
Well,
you
it's not
playing
their
that?
fault though.
No, I know it's not
I
their
know
fault.
they have to keep
I
a
don't think-
schedule, but
Well,
I mean,
I mean,
I don't think they planned
They
that.
pre-plan
Yeah,
what
they
songs
pre-plan it,
even
yeah.
are kind
Yeah,
of.
it's on their
playing
set list, but
No, they should have had a backup or something too. But at the
Exactly,
same
man.
time, like we were talking about this before the cameras rolled, how like we're so happy that this wasn't a political year
Yeah,
in terms of the
exactly.
the
Oh,
winners.
yeah.
But at the same time, when it comes to these films,
Yeah.
this is where politics should live in cinema. Open up the discussion and talk about what's important and why
Yeah.
and how relevant it is to kind of our culture.
Well,
but it should stay there.
Yeah.
It shouldn't kind of leap over into
That
any
line
other,
is a little
other
blurry
categories.
sometimes,
It
man.
is. It is very
and when
blurry.
you talk about the merit, I mean, as far as wartime documentaries go, the challenge of filming anything during these wars, so many journalists are dying. Like, I mean, the fact that they're able to produce something like this and get it out to the world, it's a big testament to the challenge they as filmmakers have to go
It's
through.
also
So
a topic that, whether you like it or not, it's hard to ignore. I mean, it's hard to
Yeah.
ignore this topic. It's hard to
Absolutely.
get and some people take this to their advantage, and a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And make torture porn and whatever you
Yeah,
want,
exactly.
and don't do it the right way, but they still get their shit funded.
yeah.
This, on the other hand, actually had intention and its relevancy and all of that. So I thought that was pretty great. Speaking of the score, Jonathan saying that, did we hear them play Cinema Paradiso Steam when Zendaya came out? I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
catch that personally,
I didn't
but
catch
that's
that
awesome.
either.
Yeah.
Cough, cough, Charlie Min.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, wow.
I didn't say anything, John.
Yo.
but,
Hey,
we're
we're not bringing.
Shout out to Las Cruces. We didn't
I
do
know,
that.
not bringing politics into this
Yeah, we're not
podcast.
doing
But
that.
I
anyway,
know, moving right along.
hey,
Best animated short.
best animated
There we
short.
go.
This we can talk
That's how
about
you
because we
get it.
actually
Because
screened all
we
these.
saw-
We did.
Yes.
We got to screen these. If you don't know, in case you don't know, you can go to Alamo. Not just Alamo. Cinemark is doing it now too, and I think AMC has kind of jumped on the train also.
Yeah.
You can screen at the very, very, very least, a block of the Best Picture live action nominees
And animated.
and animated.
Yeah.
Like at the very least, that's what they'll have. But places like Alamo actually had the shorts categories in their blocks, so
Yeah.
we got to catch those at Alamo, which was
and
pretty
it
cool.
is a very fun little like night to go out
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
watch these, because you know,
We
like
made a day out of it actually
Yeah.
because they are long. I mean, it's a block of 2
Yeah.
hours per block.
But
essentially.
you know, you go in no expectations, and
Yeah.
you get to see a bunch of things that they're Oscar nominated, so they all have their merit in their own way. I mean,
Do they?
if we can talk about that, it'd be kind of fun.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about animated. Let's talk about animated
So,
first, right?
We can talk about this, and for those who haven't seen it, let's do a micro recap. So, Letters to a Pig is this animated film. Letters to a Pig is this animated film, kind of recapping this story during like the Holocaust era,
Yeah.
where a man was being hunted by Nazis and hid in a farm, and while they were looking for him, this pig that could have ratted him out in a weird way didn't. It just kind of looked at him and then kept walking along, so that way it would distract the Nazis. So this is the letter he wrote thanking that pig.
Oh wow.
And the reason it's also kind of special is because in the Jewish community, pigs culturally are seen as these dirty, like swine creatures.
Yeah.
So for him, it was this emotional experience. That's something that his culture hates and didn't want to associate.
It's a really
with.
good arc.
Yeah, like saved him. And
Not only was it a really good art,
yeah.
the animation style of this picture was really unique, really good.
dark and gritty. Oh,
Yeah.
it had this
It's,
weird kind
charcoal,
of
like charcoal
It's
kinda-
charcoal mixed in with live action, so it's a mixed
Yeah.
media kind of thing. Very fun. Not fun. I'm sorry. Very good.
No,
in
it's a good. It's
construction.
definitely had merit and
Yeah.
definitely belonged on this.
You got to talk
this
about
list.
the 95 senses.
95 senses.
It feels like a slice of pie Americana film, and then it doesn't. Did you think it was bad? I really liked it.
No. It started out that way. It started out very questionably. So essentially, 95 Senses is about a gentleman. At first glance, you think it's Sam Elliott, right? At first listen, you think Sam Elliott's in this picture. Cool. And it's essentially, we're introduced to this guy in his, 60s, maybe 70s, talking about how important and each of the senses are affected. And then as he's presenting each sense, taste, feel, touch, smell, sight, he's basically going through the course of his life. And as he's going through the course of his life and what these senses have kind of meant to him, we start revealing that he's in prison, this character. And not only is he in prison, he's talking about his senses because he's about to have his last meal. He's going to go to the chair.
That.
Yeah.
And
He's on death row.
He's on death row and basically talks about these senses in connection to that. Essentially what happened, and this is a true story to my knowledge, he got fired from a gig for something that wasn't his
Oh
fault.
no, he got fired from a mechanic shop.
That's a gig. That's
It's
a
not a
job.
gig.
It's a job.
It's not a gig though. It's a
Yeah.
regular job.
Oh my gosh. He got fired from his job.
Door.
He loved that job. He was
Yeah.
he was a kid. He was in his early 20s. And essentially, he got so upset because what happened wasn't his fault. He had lost his hearing. One of the senses, he had lost his hearing at a young age because his father would play music really loudly.
Yeah.
And
So he loses his job.
and he loses his job and his gig.
Yeah.
And essentially, what happens is he goes back for revenge and tries to burn the place down, not knowing that the owners live on the top floor. So he killed.
Oh, and
he killed
it's
him
not just the owner; it was the owner and his family.
and his family. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why he's on death row, because he basically like murdered all them.
yeah.
But then he goes through the senses, and at the very end of the film, after you find out what happened, then he says, "Oh, did you know that when you die, like
Your
not all your
hearing is the
senses,
last
like,
to go
Yeah,
and all
your
that.
hearing's the last to go, and like first you'll lose your like taste,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you'll lose sight and all this kind of stuff, and then at the very end, he finishes his meal, and he's like, "Wait, what time is it? Like, do you think I still have enough time?" And he's just
No, he said he's panicking because he's like, I should have ordered an extra item. Like,
Oh
I
my
should have,
God, that's intense.
I should have ordered an extra muffin or something. Like, man, I didn't get that extra
It's
muffin.
already,
Like, it's already
yeah.
processing for him, and it's pretty intense, man. But it starts out as like you said, slice of life. It even starts out with like acoustic guitar
like,
playing.
yeah, it's like a bluegrass
you know,
kinda like,
yeah, and it's like whoa, that took a turn. It was really interesting, but a very fantastic, lots of merit.
Yeah.
Great storytelling in this kind of short form, and yeah.
Our Uniform.
Yep.
Our Uniform. I thought that one was gonna win. Because again, it's very political, but it's talking about in the Middle East. I want to say Syria, where they have to wear like hijabs, and they have to, like, the women have to cover their face. And it's this lady talking about her younger years in elementary school and growing up there. How at first you would wear these like white gowns, and then slowly as you get older, they go gray, and then they go black, and then you have to wear these at all times. And it talks about the experience being there, how it's not something that anybody likes to do. They just kind of learn that that's just the way you follow things.
Yeah.
And then as she gets older and she's able to like travel and go to like places outside of her own country, she can express herself and be fully immersed in like, just different clothing and get to experience something else.
But the animation style through it was really unique.
They animated on top of clothing.
On actual fabric. So like on actual fabric.
You would see like when she's talking about like pants or something like that, they had physical pants, and then you'd see little like doodles, like almost like a stop motion on top of it. So it was really cool, blending mixed media.
Nice.
Very unique story, and also talking in a very unique perspective. I thought that one was great, fantastic. It wasn't overly political, but it like highlights a different culture. They even had like a tagline at the beginning that says, "We're not against the wearing of hijabs. We're just talking about our own personal experience."
Yeah.
So yeah, great film.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to talk about the next one? Because I kind of want to talk about the last one.
Pachyderm?
Yeah.
Pachyderm was...
It was interesting. Very artsy.
Wait, which one was Pachyderm?
So it was a little girl moves in with her grandparents.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Yeah.
so... Yeah, it was a French film. Was it French or French-Canadian?
I think it was French.
Yeah, so it's her recounting living with her grandparents.
I think her
over
parents passed away
No.
or something.
Her parents would drop her off for the summer.
For the summer.
So her parents would drop her off for the summer, and it's her recounting the time she'd spent with like her grandfather, but everything kind of hints towards the grandfather was like
Who's Little Badger?
abusive.
Her parents would drop her off.
What?
Like touching her. Essentially,
Yeah.
that the grandpa
No,
was kind of being a perv, but also like it started out very interesting because it got my attention right away just at the opening of like her being afraid, and you don't know why. We obviously discover why, but her being afraid of the house. There was creaking, and it was an old house, so the wood would be really loud, and she would picture
And she would
monsters.
try to hide in the wallpaper.
Yeah. She would
Yeah.
like try to blend, like to not be discovered, right? Anytime she would hear a noise. And we think, oh, it's a little girl. It's this big house. It's this old house. Like she's feeling
just
this.
her imagination.
But think about the kind of the juxtaposition of I don't want to be noticed, because if I'm noticed, the monsters are going to get me. So if I get my grandpa's attention, he's gonna notice, and he's gonna start touching me. It starts making an interesting turn.
It's very heavy, very,
very
sad. But yeah, I mean the animation style was good. All these have wonderful styles. Like
Little Badger asks, her parents would drop her off. Do you mean like genuinely?
No, I was just doing quality control and decided to comment something.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
I'm
then,
like double checking it on my phone to make sure everything's right.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'll say, Jonathan, I haven't. I saw your comment. I'll talk about it after we kind of present the last one. But Pachydermy was interesting, very heavy, and the animation style was pretty unique. Yeah, it was cool. It was a good one.
now for the winner.
The War is Over. Oh man, I was so happy about what he did when he went on stage. Well, The War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko, is essentially everybody's heard this song. It's a Christmas song. It's called The War is Over. It's called Happy Christmas. The War is Over, and it's a song that John Lennon wrote with Yoko Ono. Essentially, making a traditional-ish Christmas song in connections to the war being over and Vietnam, specifically Vietnam, which I thought was interesting about why they put it a little further back. But anyways, or maybe it was right before the Cold War that they were. No, it was Vietnam. It was Vietnam because John Lennon died in 1980. But
So they say.
So they say. But essentially, the film is about a war and two pen pals, to an extent, who play chess, who are playing a game of chess, and they're on opposite sides of the trenches. They're on the opposite sides of the war, essentially, and they're using a pigeon carrier to deliver messages to the generals, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, but they're using the pigeon to send their next move on the chessboard.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And it's a great thing, and the rest of the soldiers are kind of engaged into it too. And it's like they're in the tents while everybody's fighting. And then this pigeon actually meant a lot to one of the to the soldier on one of the sides, and the war gets a little heavier. Their generals get pissed off because they're playing chess, and it's like, no, get back to the war, and throw them back into the trenches. And then essentially,
There was like one day where they lead into a full out.
Full blown,
Both armies are going to go at it with each other. Like it's an order from both sides, and it's right before the war ends.
The kind of third storyline is that we're constantly getting messages from even their higher ups back at the army bases.
Okay.
And they're sending messages like, yes, go ahead and strike, or yes, go ahead and wait.
Almost like
and
their notes
the
move
last
along.
message they kind of send with this Perry Pigeon is the war is over. And it gets there right as this big battle's going on, and there's a bomb that goes off and kills the pigeon.
Oh,
It
and
dies right on.
And everybody sees that, or
No, but the two chess players
two
do.
chess
You
players.
know,
the
they
only
recognize
reason-
this.
Yeah, and the two chess players have never met each other. They're just on opposite sides of the war
Right.
field or the battlefield.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's good,
So what
that's good.
happens is that while they're fighting each other, basically trying to kill the other person, a note slips out, and the note's a handwritten note from the other person
Of the
like,
chess moves.
Of the chess moves. I
love that.
And they both realize like, oh,
It's
you
you.
were
You
the
know,
guy.
yeah.
And then they see the pigeon flying, and then it gets blown
Oh,
up
uh-huh.
and falls down, and they both run towards it, and then they find the last message from the pigeon, and
They're running
Yeah.
to their superiors to be like, it's over, like
over.
stop the
The
fighting,
war's
stop the
over.
fighting.
Yeah.
And they do, and ultimately, obviously, the pigeon dies, but it meant a lot to them, right?
Yeah.
But
No,
it's
yeah,
like-
yeah.
it's
in a
almost
very
like a-
short amount of time, everybody felt bad for that pigeon.
Yeah,
Which
but it was
is-
terrific. It was terrific.
what a
It was a
feat.
terrific film. A lot of feet, and it was important to note that it sucks, right? I mean, to an extent, because this was probably the most expensive film of this whole category.
Oh, by the way, Epic Games.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Was
Yeah.
like the money behind it is they got to use Unreal Engine to make this film.
wow,
they,
Epic Games, yeah.
They used Unreal Engine, same technology that Fortnite uses
wow,
essentially
so they
to
did a
make a
short
film.
film with
Yeah,
it?
In a way, it looked like a Fortnite cinematic.
it really did. But not only
Wow,
was it
that's crazy,
Unreal
though.
Engine, it was also Peter Jackson's animation company, Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson,
Using real-
Weta, Weta Entertainment, and they're kind of short of like Industrial Light and Magic (ILM). They're like the next dudes when it comes to animation.
Right.
They're up there with the Pixars. They're up there with the ILMs in terms of special effects and animation. They do a lot of video games also. So it's this kind of beautiful marriage of telling,
Nice. Yeah.
you know, taking the next step into animation.
I was gonna say that.
But also, another thing to note is like the writing, right? It was co-written by John Lennon's son, Sean
Oh,
Lennon.
yeah.
Sean Lennon was one of the
Who
co-writers.
also was up there to accept
Yeah,
the
he
award.
accepted, and he was the one that was like,
Nice.
It's Mother's Day in
the UK.
in the UK. Can everybody say Happy Mother's
Yeah.
Day, Yoko? And everybody did. So that was kind of sweet. But I remember telling Lau, like, man, like, while we screened it, I was like, I kind of really want 95 Census to win. But this one's gonna win. The war is over. Is gonna
Yeah.
win. And it was just like, imagine throwing that much money and animation power into a film, and for it not to
Speaking
win.
of throwing
yeah,
a lot
so
of money into a short and it probably winning.
Not the case in the live actions, but anyways,
Oh,
just
God.
to talk about Jonathan's comment, one thing I do appreciate about the animation shorts is that there's always a fascinating variety of animation styles that never disappoints. And
Very
that's
true.
It's very
Oh, yeah.
true. This is where you want these forms to shine, right? I didn't appreciate that for the longest time, and then kind of my team. Anytime we're doing shorts, we'll always say like, no, that's an Oscar short. That's like an Oscar short. We need to put that over here. And I never appreciated that statement until you start seeing them and you're like, yeah, this is where these shine. It's not really in film festivals as much as it is like these kind of Oscar shorts, right?
Yeah.
However,
yeah.
not the case for best live action short. We didn't do good this year. I don't think.
Well, we'll get to that right
yeah.
now. Let's finish off animation.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. But best animated feature.
Oh, this is probably the first snub. The first.
This is where a lot of people
Well,
are.
Jonathan said, thankfully, he didn't try to sing like his mom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
no.
God. Well, this is like a lot of
Yeah, you were telling me about it right now.
controversy, but everybody felt, the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse should have won
Yeah.
because one of the characters,
Yeah.
Spider-Punk, it took like I think 5 months to animate his single character.
And why'd you say because something?
So
is,
if you look at
is-
like punk posters, look at like Sex Pistols or like I'm trying to think who else they took reference from. But when you look at a lot of like the punk, especially like the UK, where it's like clippings of like newspaper and it's
Oh,
these
okay,
like
okay.
hodgepodge art kind of pieces, all that. Them trying to incorporate different styles, different text, everything. Like when he moves, if you notice, it's like paper and then it's a different style and it's
Yeah.
all kind of like pasted over him. It took forever to animate him. It took months to get his character to just move. So because of all that, a lot of people felt that movie was well deserving of another Oscar because the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse won Best Animated Film.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Because that one incorporated again a very unique way of
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
But it's important. It's important to talk about too how we had when The Boy and the Heron came out. That was the first thing I was hearing from everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to win the Oscar this year. This is going to win the Oscar this year. I didn't screen it, but when Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse came out, I was like, "Are they just going to do another one? You know, or are they going to top it? How are they going to top it?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be tough."
Everybody's question.
And I personally think how they topped it was not just in the animation style, but they had a pretty great arc, especially for the female character.
Oh yeah.
You know, the whole thing with her dad, and
Oh, my God.
you know, it had a great emotional arc. But
Visually, it was gorgeous.
visually, it was gorgeous. Absolutely. Bones just tuned in, and thank you for chiming in, Bones. He said The Casualties. He's a big Miyazaki fan as well. And he's a big Marvel fan. He's a big Spider-Man fan too. But I remember him saying like, "Oh, dude, this is like,
Yeah.
it's his last film, so it kind of punches a little harder." And I also heard that this was kind of autobiographical on the Miyazaki side, and that he knew he was making his last film, so very emotional and stuff like that. But I just kind of feel like I'm okay with that choice as long as there's a ton of merit with Boy and the Heron.
Oh, yeah.
Because for me, the emotional context of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, not only was it great because you had something like Everything Everywhere All at Once, which tackles the multiverse, and then you had it in animation where they can have way more fun with that and be more creative with that.
Absolutely.
So I thought it was interesting. Not just that, by the way. They brought in the director of Soul to co-direct the new Spider-Man.
I didn't
Really?
like Soul.
Yeah, I didn't either. You did.
I love
And then also won the Oscar that year,
Bro,
didn't
it's
it?
supposed to be a kids movie. What the
No,
hell
it's
we
not.
talking-
No, Mama's supposed to be a kid's movie.
Bro,
By the way,
leave my
notable
mother's name
mention.
out of your mouth.
Notable mention. I actually feel Elemental was done extremely well.
Yeah.
Elemental was actually one of Pixar's best in kind of the last few years.
Which one? Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed that film. I really enjoyed the message, the animation style, the creativeness.
I'm trying to think of the other
I
ones
thought
with
it was extremely well. Commentary on
No, Meg was
social
also really campaigning for that one,
classes, and Elemental was actually done really well.
Yeah.
So just kind of notable mention on that regard. We have John Gon
Yeah,
saying,
he says, ironically, I remember early in the year, they were saying that Across the Universe was even going to be a Best Picture now. But we don't know how that worked. Really?
I don't know if there's ever been an animated film that's gone up for Best
Yeah.
Picture. But I will say this.
"No,
the-
you're right. I don't think so."
The argument
Maybe Toy
I've
Story?
had for it also
Ooh,
not winning
That's a good guess.
is that the first Into the Spider-Verse
Very big.
got an Oscar. And usually,
yeah.
the same thing I think happened with Del Toro, that he made Shape of Water with a very unique style and a unique perspective, and then he made Nightmare Alley. It was too similar, and it was too close
By
together.
the way,
where then, it doesn't.
Jonathan's got a point. I was going to point out Toy Story 3. And
It
Toy
did?
Story 4. Toy Story 4
The
also
nods?
got a nod.
Nods?
Yeah, they got a nod. No, Toy Story 3 for Best Picture.
Really?
But Toy Story 4 actually got, like, I guess what I'm referring to are sequels, right? To your point on when it comes to sequels. Sequels, like, dude, they're very few. But,
very few.
What? Oh my gosh, Bones, what is he saying? Bones, donate 100 or get banned.
Oh God.
Anyways, Beauty and the Beast as well. Beauty and the Beast. I mean, the Disney Renaissance in the '90s was they did get a Best Picture nod. So it
sequels
has
can
happened.
happen, but I
Okay,
feel
Not
okay.
the
like
sequels, but Best Picture.
Yeah.
Those two did get Best Picture
Yeah.
nods. Best Picture nods.
Really?
Yeah. Beauty and the
my God.
Beast and Toy
Yeah.
Story 3.
that's insane.
I'm with you.
But come on, man, those are heavy-hitting films.
No, but
by the way,
I-
I'm curious.
Yeah.
What were the Best Picture nominees for the year Beauty and the Beast? It seems like
That's true.
97,
I have to know.
comparatively, right? While he's looking that up,
I will say I did watch Boy and the Heron.
Yeah, okay.
Amazing picture, visually super impressive, and
everything Studio Ghibli is, by the way.
yeah. But you could tell that he was throwing everything at you.
Oh.
Like this definitely felt like a combination of his
swan
entire
song?
career. Yeah, in one film.
He's
so
putting it all on the table.
I mean,
A successful swan song? you'd
yes,
say? Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, the magic's there, the emotional the emotional weight of like the character going through this journey. The big story is that he loses his mother through the war, and he feels like his mother's not just dead, like that there's some spirit that's taken her. So then he ends up going and trying to find the spirit or trying to find what's trapping his mother's soul from like moving on.
Oh shit!
And ends up going on this big journey into the like, I don't even know how to describe it, but just some realm that's outside of our reality.
Can you also bring up
that
Toy
controls
Story
time
3?
and everything.
The upside down.
So, kind of. I mean, there's a guy who basically has to organize these little blocks in a certain way, and if he can do it correctly, life continues on for another 2 days. And
oh shit!
and that concept of like,
I love it.
okay, I don't know how to describe this in a few words.
But
No, there's a moment where the boy's given a choice where it's like, I could give you the ability of God to basically design the world and make a more perfect world than I could because in the world that I created.
Wow, that's heavy.
Yeah. Or like go back and live your life and accept the loss and the pain. And, you know, there will, like, in the world that you have right now, there's both joy and suffering, and live in that world. Like, what do you choose?
It sounds very similar to that. There's a very popular, I want to say it's a Korean film, but Chuck just told me about it. I think it's actually Japanese.
Yeah.
Essentially, the premise of the film is you die, you go to heaven, and they give you an opportunity to recreate, like cinematically, like you're directing a scene.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
From your life.
Yeah.
whoa!
You get one scene to recreate visually, like in your face, and you're directing that scene
awesome.
essentially, right? So I was like, man, that sounds so interesting. It's also very fucking deep,
exactly,
very heavy. But I don't know. I don't know that I would categorize Studio Ghibli pictures as solely just like Pixar films, right? To an extent, they're not for kids. Animation's never meant to be just for kids.
Yeah.
I'm on the Toro's camp when it comes to that, right? That's why Pinocchio was such a big smash. You know?
Sorry, I'm just looking at the best pictures from Beauty and the Beast here. Holy
That was a weak year, right?
no!
Come on!
Wait. Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs was the one that won that year, right?
Bugsy, JFK, The Prince
Yeah.
of Tides.
Oh, I
Come
was seeing-
on, it was
I was
kind of
seeing
a
another
weak
one. I
year.
was seeing this one.
Yeah. This was
was like holy.
Toy Story 3 was nominated
The
with
Social
Social Network, 127 Hours, The Fighter, Black
Inception.
Swan, Inception. Yeah,
The
dude.
Fighter, come on.
No,
oh
but-
my god, all of them, dude. True Grit.
True Grit. That was a good year.
Inception. Oh my God. Toy Story, get out of here.
Yeah, I know, right?
But Toy Story 3 hits hard, man.
Oh, dude,
it
anyway,
hits hard,
anyway, real
dude.
quick,
You know
Yeah.
what? I saw a quick side note.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw a video that somebody posted on YouTube where they edited Toy Story that it ends at the
was
scene
a
when
lot
the
at one
toys
point.
are all
The fire?
going down, and then that's the version he showed to his family, and then he rolled the credits there, and his family like died. They were like, I can't believe they
Pixar did
ruined everything. Like,
By the
so
way,
bad.
Bones just said, loved Boy and the Heron, but to your point, it was a lot at one point.
It was a
It
lot.
was
a lot.
It's
heavy.
too much. Like Miyazaki, very similar to Cameron right now with Avatar. He creates a world, and you're trying to blend in a really solid story with a world that's way bigger than you'll ever understand.
I will say I'm trying to catch up.
interested now.
I'm trying to catch up on Ghibli. I haven't seen all of them. Shamefully, I
no,
really love the style of storytelling that they do. But like, just like any other normie, I'm not a big anime fan. Enemy. I'm an enemy to anime. No, I'm not a big anime fan, and I've wanted to get more into it. Like I was telling Bones when I was in town, we were talking about Perfect Blue and trying to encourage them to stream
yeah.
Perfect Blue. And,
Oh,
you
they
know,
haven't seen it?
They haven't seen it,
Oh, my
and his
God.
wife especially, like Karen. Shout out to Karen. She likes anime as well, and you know he's trying to get into certain things. So when they went to go see Boy and the Heron, he was like, "Yeah, I was alive, man. I was alive." And I kept telling him like, I started with Spirited Away, right? Just like anybody else
That's
when it comes to
perfect,
Ghibli.
yeah.
You start with Spirited Away. Great storytelling, phenomenal picture. The animation is used to its full potential, right, for a Ghibli picture. But it's also emotionally there. It's
Yeah.
emotionally there. And for me, Spirited Away hasn't been topped, personally, with Ghibli. However, I remember feeling that I need to watch Boy and the Heron because I remember feeling this way about My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah.
And like My Neighbor Totoro, at first it's like, oh, cool, because it's her imagination running wild, and what's going on with this, and then you get to the end scene, and you're like, oh shit, that's heavy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's whoa. It discusses like her mom having cancer and being in the
Them having to
hospitalized.
process
And
it,
yeah, it's really heavy. It's really heavy. But you don't get hit with that blow till the end.
Yeah.
And then you sit with it, and you're like,
No, and
oh, those imaginary characters meant something else. Oh,
The fact that-
it's heavy,
and-
super heavy.
just so we can keep moving forward, I'll just
Yeah.
say that the fact that Miyazaki in all of his films is able to create a world that's unique to itself.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not like in other animated films. Like right now, they have the whole like Pixar theory that all the films
I
are
love
connected
it.
to each other.
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm a sucker
but
for
with
it.
Miyazaki, he really does say like, no, this world is unique to itself, and then this world's
I
unique to itself.
disagree. I disagree.
Where we're at,
no,
we're at, we're
it
at,
does
though.
follow a lot of the lore of like Japanese folklore and
No,
spirits.
not
and
just
all
that. I'm being facetious. Bones had a baby girl. Shout out to Renata.
Hey, baby
prove
girl.
it.
And then we got her a
Congrats.
little gift because we know they love Studio Ghibli stuff, and we started connecting the dots with the Dust Bunnies. The little
Okay.
Dust
They're not in
Bunnies.
every film.
They're in almost every film.
No, they're not.
We talked about
They're
it.
different.
No, they're not. They're the exact same
They're
creatures.
different. No.
They're
I
like
love
they're
this.
in Totoro. They're in Spirited
Nah,
Away.
nah. They're
Place your
different.
bets.
They're
The
different
Kiki's
creatures.
Delivery Service. They're in everything.
Place
They're
your
different.
bets.
Different.
Anyways, Bones told me that Kiki's Delivery Service is going to be my favorite, so I really want to see that one.
Your mama's gonna. Never mind.
Moving right along. Bridging it along. My mom was probably watching this. Bridging it right along
Mom.
into
How you doing?
a live action.
Live action.
Wait, no, never mind. Sorry, I don't
Visual
know
effects.
what order these are in. You
I'm
made
sorry.
this, so you be the.
No, I went off the website, but I went from the bottom and then like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, can
Wait.
we give a
No,
little?
no, go
Can we
ahead.
give a little shout out to one of the best animation cartoons ever?
Oh yeah. Obviously,
I'm surprised
Okay.
at how many people.
I'll do it if you can pronounce his name.
No, and that's why I didn't share it because I really
I'm
didn't
kidding,
know
I'm
who it was,
kidding.
but I knew what Dragon Ball.
No, of course, huge, massive impact.
I never
on
knew how
society.
many people admired like.
I love what Meg said.
Grew
By
up
the
with
way,
Dragon Balls like I
I
did.
love what Meg said that in a specific town in Japan with,
Yeah.
that has high crime rates. That anytime a new episode of Dragon Ball Z would come out,
yeah.
that the crime rates would just drop.
Yeah.
because everybody was
Everybody
watching
wanted
it.
to watch the new.
That's really
That's-
interesting.
yeah.
I also told. What did I tell her? I was like,
That
also-
just tells you the kind of people that watch Dragon Ball Z.
no, but everybody loves it. I mean, it's massive impact. I remember when the film
Yeah.
came out, theaters were packed, and it was during the pandemic. I think actually the new Dragon Ball Z film.
Oh, yeah?
they like theaters were packed.
I'm
It made a
saying,
huge
it's
impact.
It was
Theaters.
definitely one of those where like even
Yeah.
me, I'm not a huge.
Rip Akira Toriyama. That's his name.
Yeah, dude.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Akira Toriyama.
I wasn't a huge like.
I was a huge
Anime person?
I grew up like
Yeah.
literally
No.
Goku.
No, but
the
so
Dragon
many
Ball, the
people,
first
so many
one.
Me
people
too, yeah.
grew up with that,
my
and
God,
that's why I
dude.
think they feel like he inspired like a generation all over the world.
He
So
taught us without even knowing that we were being taught. You know.
Yeah,
It's
and we watched it in
beautiful.
Spanish, man. It's a whole other thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I agree, man. And I can't tell you, I can't name every Dragon Ball Z character. I can't even tell you that I saw the last couple films, but the series itself, man, I grew up with it as well. And not only was it extremely entertaining, it was very deep, extremely
Yeah.
deep. Always had a message.
How
Always
to
had
kid how
something
to
to
like
say.
go for his goals, how to
Yeah.
reach for the limit. You know.
Yeah, character, how to help people, and then
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man, who didn't want to be a Super Saiyan? I'm just saying, like, who didn't
Exactly.
want to be Super Saiyan 7?
Me.
You know what I mean? But rest in peace
Yeah,
to Akira
I had to- I
Toriyama.
had to
We
ask
have
it.
to mention that because we noticed that maybe it was intentional. We don't know that in the memoriam portion of the Oscars this year, they missed a few, including Akira Toriyama.
Right?
yeah.
I said it, but I'm like, all right, he's not.
Akira Toriyama. We talked about Matthew Perry not being in the memoriam.
He was.
Oh, he was. After all?
He was.
So
no, dude, they had a whole like thing for him. That's what I was like.
who
Oh,
did
look.
what did they miss though? We
They
talked
had a
about they
lot.
had a
No,
few.
yeah,
they
they had a
included
lot.
I think more than most memoriams.
Okay.
Because this year instead of just being about like actors, they had a lot of producers,
Yeah, of
screenwriters,
course, of
background.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, now that should have made sense to put him then.
Yeah.
Akira.
I thought it was like, all right,
Richard Lewis.
Well, yeah, Richard Lewis, which was super kind of last minute.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, it's not
Yeah.
a last minute thing. But anyways,
Yeah.
I also made note that they probably like a lot of these were honored at the Emmys, and like Akira Toriyama just happened, so it's
Yeah.
just one of those weird things, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, I wonder, has Dragon Ball Z ever been nominated for an Oscar for animated?
No.
No, At
No,
all?
but
Ever?
you know, as a fan, it should have been.
Jeez.
You
Anyways,
didn't grow up with it, bro.
yeah, it's okay. It's
Sorry,
okay.
I'm a jerk.
He claims to be an anime fan.
I
whatever.
don't claim anything. Oh man, I think I told you right. This last gig I was on for a feature, the second AD came up to me and he was giving gifts to all the PAs, and he gave to the other PAs like a brand new pair of like aviator sunglasses, and they're like, "Oh man, thanks, really appreciate it."
Right.
And to me, he comes up and he gives me a women's large. Sweater that's Naruto themed. Like it's got the red clouds. It's like the black sweater with the red clouds. And then I was like, "What's this?" And he's like, "It's a gift, man." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." He's like, "Yeah, because don't you watch like anime and stuff?" And I'm like, "No." He's like,
You do though.
No,
yeah,
I
just
like
yes.
no, not but like not Naruto
You
and
need
like
to work on your people skills, bro.
We don't know the difference, man.
like I watch films and like
It's
single
got anime
season.
in it.
I don't watch Naruto, so like now I have a women's large Naruto sweater that I don't know what to do with.
Doing the Naruto run.
Anyway,
Accept it, dude.
best visual effects.
Also, you probably like, yo, I forgot this one PA. Babe, give me your sweater. Come here.
That's probably what it was, dude.
No, but there's a lot of buzz too right now with like the My Hero Academia thing, and there's
yeah.
buzz,
I
right?
don't watch them.
I don't either. I don't know I just heard buzz.
Yeah.
I don't
Look,
know.
dude, somebody gives you a gift, you say,
I kissed him on the cheek,
and then you
like,
sell it. Anyways,
Wow.
John,
My mom
yeah,
likes it.
I'm with you, man. That's the only name I noticed on that big list at the end, and I didn't even know he had died. So
Yeah.
screw me, right? Cormac McCarthy passed away. Writer of The Road. I love his El Paso story, man. He wrote The Road, which I thought is a phenomenal
Road.
book, man. I actually have a first edition of it, thanks to literarity, and he has a lot of other popular novels. But in The Road, it's essentially the opening of The Road is mountains on fire. It's this post-apocalyptic kind of book
shit.
about a father and the son
I'm like
journey.
already. Yeah.
It's great, man. It's great. I always felt like they never made a successful film or TV adaptation of The Road. It's a terrific book. It's on my list of like
Sounds like something we could do.
right. So honestly, dude, it's a great. I always pictured like a Liam Neeson, but like a serious Liam Neeson doing something like this, like a silenced Liam Neeson doing it. But anyways,
Nice.
The opening of The Road is hey Diego, thank you for tuning in, man. Super great book. He wrote that book in El Paso.
Shout out to Diego.
He's not from here any. This is a Pulitzer Prize winning book. This thing's huge.
Right.
And he was staring at the mountains of El Paso and pictured them on fire, and that's what kicked us off.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so I always thought those were really
great.
cool. I think he ended up retiring here at one point, and maybe he even died here. But yeah, he's Cormac McCarthy, great writer. Rest in
Man.
peace. Anyways, moving right along, we're going to talk about best visual effects.
Well,
Y'all hearing that noise? Okay,
Wow.
it stopped. It's
we're talking
These
about
mics all right? Or the mics? It's the mic.
yeah.
Godzilla -1.
Godzilla minus
Fantastic.
one.
Bro,
Didn't see it.
did you guys see it?
I didn't see it.
I saw it, and oh my god!
I only saw Napoleon, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That's it. That's all I saw. I didn't even see
I-
the new
I
Mission
think-
I was
Impossible.
waiting for the creator because they shot it in the FX3. So
I mean, that's minor point. No, I feel like Godzilla -3. I mean, one, it's Godzilla -1. Sorry, I was thinking of.
are you doing the sequel and the
I was
prequel?
thinking of- Oh,
Guardians,
it's Volume
Guardians was
3,
awesome,
yeah.
though.
Guardians was cool, but
Nothing
it's because
notable on
Godzilla
the- on the- I
on the
guess
big
on the-
screen.
Yo, how the
Yeah,
hell is
also they
Mission
even screamed that out
Impossible
during the
yet?
Oscars, and then you see his face, and it's because Godzilla in like American films, they make him as this like heroic monster who helps beat people up, and they like make him look friendlier. And this one, they
He's actually the
steered
villain.
into
But
the
wait,
original lore. Which
Because isn't it because of copyrights? Isn't it like
No. It's
America can't?
No. It's just that
I fuck girls. I don't know. I don't know.
I do too. That's why I'm
it's
asking.
partially that.
It's
No, you're
partially
not.
that- it's
But
partially
no, they like the original
Breaking
lore.
a good knowledge on me. Bro.
Original
I forget
lore of
we're live.
Godzilla was that he's meant to represent the fear of atomic warfare. That's why he
Oh,
has like
I've heard that, yeah.
atomic
For
breath
that,
and all
yeah,
that kind of stuff. He's meant to be something that they're trying to kill the whole time.
Yeah.
That he destroys things sporadically. He'll just pop up in a city and then the city's gone in 20 minutes. That's what Godzilla's supposed to be. So
a visual
they-
representation
yeah.
of the nuclear.
So they brought that fear back
forget.
in this new Godzilla movie, and it's
Yes.
Ian, what's up, man?
fantastic.
Godzilla, woo!
Because-
Godzilla
yeah.
2000 was different because of copyright. There you go, Godzilla. There's your
All right.
backup there.
That's the best one.
Godzilla.
That's
you know.
the worst one, I think.
But dude, they didn't actually copyright. It's not copyright.
Dude, when they're in the tunnel and then they think
But
it's a
it's
wall,
not.
but then it's his high.
Dude, oh, my
my
gosh, what a
God,
horrible
dude.
picture.
As a kid, I jumped into the couch. I was like, Godzilla!
Is that the one that was made in like 97 or something? It was a horrible film, man. I couldn't
Oh,
get
it was
through
What
the
are
one
you
about
talking
like
about?
It was bad.
What
There's
was
so
bad
much
about
bad.
it?
they had the joke right about like why are you chewing gum? Oh, it makes me look more American. And then they like
Yes.
showed all
Oh
the
my
French soldiers.
gosh,
'Cause it was
man,
Elvis.
that was so cheesy. Ugh.
Ah,
Oh,
you guys
man.
don't know film.
Anyway, what did he say?
Y'all
So
need
you
to
guys
get out
don't know
more.
film? I argue with Eric a lot because Eric likes that cheesy, raunchy
Nah,
kind of thing.
it's-
And he was like, it's great. I was like, you're fucking stupid. I hate that movie. It's
No,
so
it's
bad.
the best one, dude.
I
Okay.
gotta watch Godzilla again though,
the
but
one that
I
taught me
remember
about
it was
fly.
fantastic. In
But
the
I'm
theaters.
glad. A lot of people were raving and
Oh.
ranting about Godzilla
And the
minus
fact
one.
that all the guys came out with like a Godzilla figure, like that was
Oh, yeah,
that
that's
was
pretty
cool.
cool.
that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
super cool. We only
I've
were
been seeing a lot of those pictures. Justine Triad just posted her Oscar on top of a bunch of In-N-Out wrappers. So that was
Aw,
cool.
that's cool.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
doing
getting
They're
creative
doing
with it.
Yeah, that's cool. And then Austin, you showed me a picture of like on Instagram of the Godzilla one, right? They were, kind of holding their Godzilla figures and stuff. So that was cool.
Yeah.
It looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not. Shout out to whoever gets this reference.
Do you remember? It's from
Me?
Austin Powers. When he's driving underneath that like large lifter thing, they're like, "Oh, it's Godzilla!" And they're like, "But due to international copyright laws,
Oh, that's funny.
it's not actually."
See, that's where I got the whole thing. Yeah.
We should run like it's still Godzilla, and then they run.
Yeah. Okay. Moving right along.
Best international feature.
Why are we skipping the best live action shorts?
Did I put it in wrong?
Best international feature.
Damn it, DeLong.
Best international feature.
Okay.
Zone of Interest.
Oh, I thought it only won sound. It won
No,
international.
it won
There
international.
won international
and it won
feature.
sound.
Okay, I only saw 3 of these.
I only saw Zone of Interest, and that's lost.
I'm with
my
you, pal.
No, the Society of the Snow was actually made with a lot of merit, man. I it was a familiar
I thought it was
story.
made with a lot of snow.
I think the reason it got a bad rap or didn't get a ton of love is because everybody, like, I remember telling people after I screened it, I felt ashamed because I didn't know this story. I didn't know the story of these individuals.
The story?
So the Society of the Snow is about a group of rugby players that are flying from.
They eat each other.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait a minute. You didn't know about this?
I didn't know about the story.
I knew the story.
The story that it's based on.
I
No,
didn't
I
know that
didn't.
they made a movie.
I didn't know.
Oh, man.
And I got that reaction from people like, "What do you mean? Like, this is like a very popular story."
I'm embarrassed right now.
I'm embarrassed for myself. I didn't know about it, and essentially,
I'll take a couple minutes to wear off.
Oscar Castañeda, thank you, man, for tuning in. He says, "Saludos y las beers." I know. The
Hasta
hell?
las birras.
We actually do have
I
beers.
know. Oh, no, worse. We have like those alcoholic monsters.
No, we got ultras.
Yeah.
You want one?
Sure.
Here, I'm going to go
Give me a
grab
mango one.
a mango one.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Surprise.
He's like a man beer.
Oh, I'm good.
What is it? A non-bitch beer.
Real not bitch beer. Anyways, so yeah, essentially, I didn't know that story. I didn't know the story about the true story of the group of rugby players who, 1960s, I think
69, I think.
69, 71 or something like that.
Yeah.
They survived the plane crash. Not all of them, sadly, and
There was a big deal about like cannibalism.
Yeah, so essentially what happened
Yeah.
was they had to survive, I think it was something like 3 months or
Yeah,
something, right?
68 days, something like that.
So they had to survive a long, long time. And in order to do so, the dead people on the plane,
Because at the end, when they got back,
Got
whoever
eaten.
survived, they got a lot of hate because of
well, of
cannibalism.
course. I mean, and they like shamefully. I got into the rabbit hole afterwards, right?
Okay.
They ship. Oh yeah, Irish crickets. No, anybody know? No? You know Irish crickets. Cheers.
Can I cheers?
Yay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Here's the
Oscar, I
beers.
hope you're
To
popping one
rugby.
too.
Bone says, "How the fuck did you not know about it? There's an older film about it. I don't fucking
Airplane. I know, dude.
Airplane.
You never saw
The comedy Airplane.
No, dog.
What do you? It's called Airplane.
Google it?
Dear God, what a terrible film.
I
What
think
a
it's called
terrible
Airplane.
name for
I
a
think it's called
picture.
Airplane.
That's the comedy one that was
Oscar
covered.
said cheers.
No, not
Cheers,
that
cheers,
one,
Oscar.
dog.
Cheers.
No, yeah, Bones. I didn't know about it, man. Like I didn't know about that story, and there was this. You know, it's a very harrowing story. It is a very harrowing story, and
boy in
it's
a harrow?
extremely popular, obviously. But essentially, they have to eat each other to survive, and they come back and they
they have
admit
to?
at first they kind of lie to reporters, like, "Oh, we just had like extra snacks on the plane."
Alive. Yeah.
Alive, yeah. Airplane was the
thought
fucking
it- no,
comedy
yeah,
we
yeah, I thought
covered. But
They were in
anyways,
an airplane.
it's a very harrowing story. But I personally thought, like, as familiar as of a story it was to most people, I thought it was it was done extremely well, especially like the visual effects.
Yeah.
The visual effects for that film and how they use sound was gritty, man. How they use makeup for the scarring and the blood, and dude, it wasn't jarring, it wasn't distracting, but it does stick with you what they're doing. Like when they're eating the pieces of flesh and stuff like that, you're like, you expect it to be this gory beef jerky type of thing. No, dude, it's
Yeah.
you feel it, man. You feel when they're having trouble swallowing this thing. It was just done really well, really effectively, I think. So the Society of the Snow, I think, deserved more love, considering Zone of Interest is something we want to talk about because, I mean, we talked about it on the last episode, right? We didn't think it hit all the marks it was supposed to hit cinematically.
Yeah.
Interesting perspective, great concept, poor execution.
Yep.
Yeah, and I
yep,
think
yep.
where people were arguing with us, especially after we finished watching the Oscars,
Oh, yeah.
is this idea that it's experimental, and if you value it for what it's trying to do in its implementation of this concept, this objective, distant view, but it's letting the emotional context of the situation
It thinks
sink
it's
into
doing
the
that.
audience.
It
no,
thinks it's doing
for
that.
people, it obviously did. I
Well,
mean, you know,
I guess so.
All my
I guess
audio
so.
people loved it. Like they could care about
Audio's fine.
Yeah, they could care about it.
That's the
love
argument
the audio
everybody
about it.
presents, and you're not wrong.
Because it's a character in its own story.
Yeah, but it is. The audio is a character, right? Yeah. But I also thought what was interesting was like the filmmaker, the British dude, Jonathan Glazer, I think is his name. He goes on stage and he accepts the Oscar and he says, "Oh, and I dedicate this to the little girl."
Oh.
And it's like, well, then you should have made it about her, man. This little girl was just a gimmick in the film to an extent. Very powerful image. Very powerful image. But
was it a gimmick?
It was a little gimmicky.
I think. Well, I mean, he didn't make his whole speech about her. He just says
no, but he dedicated the whole film to her. Dedicated the winning the Oscar to her.
Yeah, but I mean, it's to the people who were like fighting the good fight. You know.
Sure.
I think that's all it is. I think
I'm kind of seeing it from the lowest perspective now.
It was just like, you know, like.
But I'm easily
to the people
convinced.
No, because like for the very realistic people who lived through that moment and had to endure like the challenge of wanting to save whoever they could, you know.
That's fine.
Right.
But would it have been reaching? Would it have been too on the nose? Too on the nose?
Would it have been an Oscar-nominated film if it took that approach?
Perhaps, I think it would have.
Haven't we seen other films that are like?
Yeah, but that's why I say it's on the nose. But why aren't you? If that's your point with that scene, why aren't you making the film about that?
Well,
I don't think the film knew what it wanted to be in that context.
If I'm not mistaken, this one did win international and didn't win screenplay.
No, it just won sound. It just won international on sound.
Anatomy of a Fall, I think.
Yeah,
Anatomy of a Fall. Oh god, that one.
But anyways, best international feature. I think it's interesting to talk about, and I think Zone of Interest. Maybe one thing we did clarify. We're having this whole conversation yesterday after the ceremony. All of these films deserve multiple viewings. They do.
Except Barbie. Huh?
I even want to watch Barbie again.
That's a youth
thing. That's a youth thing. I just think since all of them deserve multiple viewings, Zone of Interest is going to be one of those things where maybe we'll have to revisit it a couple more times to see what we missed. But at least that first watch, it didn't hit.
The ending was kind of weird for me.
All of it, I think. All of it.
All of it. I mean, I kind of understood what it was. It was kind of like artsy, you know, trying something different.
At the
Wait
bottom.
a minute.
What?
Austin, go back. Go back right now.
You missed a couple?
No, because look,
No,
live action short was-
I know. It was there initially.
Are you doing this because of me?
No.
Yeah, because of me.
Why? Because of you.
Because it's Wes Anderson's win,
Oh, dear
and he doesn't want to give it to me. Go back
I didn't
right
know that's
now.
why you were doing it, but okay.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
you know how long? No, stop it. We don't care about Zone of Interest anymore.
Just to wrap it up.
Okay,
just to
wrap it up, and then go to the right slide, Austin.
Just to wrap it up, best international feature. I personally think Society of the Snow had a little more merit, had a little more emotional weight. I thought the execution was done extremely well, but it was also told in a very traditional way. Zone of Interest was not meant to be a traditional thing. Experimental and something very, very I won't say niche because it's a great universal topic, obviously, and a great perspective, but I don't think the execution was done well. Jonathan says, for me personally, I was engaged because I didn't know how much the rest of the family knew what was going on next door. But then the film clarified, and it was unnerving for me personally. I also loved the ending, even if it was abrupt. I don't. The ending wasn't abrupt for me. It was just. It just didn't hit hard, man. Like
the challenge I pose to people who justify it being a great film is: were you more impacted by the subject matter, or were you impacted by the filmmaker's ability to sway emotion?
Right.
And I feel like you'll watch a film and the filmmaker has complete control of you from the beginning to end. This one, the filmmaker just kind of leaves it that this is the topic. This is what happened.
And you see, that's what kept me engaged in the picture.
You take it, you know?
That's what kept me engaged in the picture is, this is a great, where are they going to take this? This is a great point of view. This is a point of view we haven't, there he is. This is a point of view we haven't really gotten in any other
No,
picture.
and that's good.
And I'm like, okay. And then the
didn't-
more
it
I was
didn't
like,
go further.
where you guys going? Where you guys going? And I think I remember just feeling like,
zoned in.
yeah. Aha.
On the interesting points of
Yeah.
the film.
I just feel like
Yeah.
if we're talking about did I care? You know, I didn't, and even if I did, it wasn't because of the
Move on to the
cinematic
next
merit.
one.
It was because of the
Clarify that.
technical aspects of it all.
Okay.
So yeah, just moving it right along.
Yeah. Moving right along.
sound.
No. We're going to live action short because this man robbed me of the opportunity to talk about this at the very beginning.
Let's talk about the best.
I did it because I wanted more people to be here
Oh,
to enjoy the talk about.
that's
what's
kind of a good
happening.
excuse.
This is for me, Austin.
Okay, you have to start. You have to start.
Okay, fine. Well, let's start.
Nah.
Oh,
We
I guess
here
no.
already.
This is in order of the way that they appeared on the block because we both saw the live action shorts. The After. If you haven't seen the After,
Stop.
Yeah.
if you haven't seen the After, it's on Netflix. Go watch it. This was a Oscar-nominated live action short film. Now, us as filmmakers and people who are still making shorts, but trying to see about using these as
Calling cards.
calling cards to get to the next stage.
Yeah.
Right.
We really wanted to look at these films, and I've looked at these films for the past years, but this was your first time really, taking a look at all the live action shorts
In
and
the
seeing
theater.
where
in the
they're
theater,
at. Yeah.
In the theater.
And I think the After was a weird
It was funky.
Aftertaste.
It was funky.
because
Nah.
the story is that there's a husband. He's like a businessman. By the way, that's also anyway.
Also
he's
kind
a,
of fun,
he's
yeah.
he's a businessman.
Right.
He's with his daughter, and they're walking to go meet up with the mom at some random
It was a
location.
recital. It was a recital.
Yeah, no, they're gonna meet up with the mom first.
Yeah.
Y'all watch the same movie?
Yes.
Okay.
And then what happens is that they have this very tender moment where it's like, "Hey, Dad, dance with me because I'm gonna go to my dance recital right now." So then the dad dances with her, and then it shows a daughter, and she's happy. And then the dad's like, "You know what? I can spend a little more time with family." And then they meet up with the wife, and then the wife's like, "Oh, I thought you had to leave." And it's like, "I can, what's 2 more hours like from my meeting? I'm just excited. I'm with family."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Wow, that's so nice." And then they all like hug. And he's like, "Oh, give me a second. I got this business call. I just gotta let him know." He answers the phone and walks away. In the background is some rando who starts stabbing people
In a hoodie.
Yeah, in a black hoodie.
And I guess it's trying to be a sleight of hand
That's
because
it.
my first thing is I see this guy in the hoodie. You don't see his face. You just see him what he's trying to do. And we cut to him several times. We
Yeah.
still don't see his face. And I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be him. It's gonna be him at the end. There's gonna be some twist where it's gonna be him and he's facing himself for the death of his family. or
Okay,
something.
okay,
I
yeah,
thought it was
yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
take
yeah.
that turn.
No.
It didn't even go the normie route. It didn't even go
All-
the on the
like-
nose route.
No,
Just-
after this very tender moment with the family, this guy stabs the
Well,
daughter.
before he does though,
Oh.
he's like taunting him. He's like,
I'm gonna do
and then
it.
he's like, and then- and then-
back?
yeah,
in
like
the background.
he's on the phone.
He's
He
going
was
like-
on the phone telling his office like I'm gonna be a couple hours late, like blah, 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 right? And he's like, the guy's like people are yelling, people. He's coming out with a knife,
Yeah.
and then he
He's
gets
about to stab,
he
like,
was, he was
the mother
supposed to stab the mom, and the daughter kind of got in the way, and he was like, boom! He just fucking stabs her, and then
and then
picks
chucks
her
her.
up and throws her off the roof where they're at.
Yeah, he
and then
chucks
the
her over
mom
a
like
ledge.
jumps off like no,
Yeah,
jumps
like,
off.
oh no, my daughter. So she jumps off the ledge. So then
And then he tackles him, and they catch the fucking guy, and
But
then so
then-
many months later, he's an
Now-
Uber. He's an Uber driver.
yeah, like
And
he's
like-
not a successful businessman anymore. Now he's an Uber driver. And then it kind of cuts to these like clips of him with passengers, and like some of them are happy. And
Yeah,
he's
the
just like,
different
"Oh, okay,
dynamics of
yeah."
life, and one of them like the daughter is very sick, and the mom's like, I gotta get home, and can you drive faster? And they kind of recounts him like, oh man, like it's the daughter, I have to give a shit. And then the last family we kind of see, it's a daughter, it's a little girl who
it
looks
looks like his.
exactly like his daughter.
Yeah.
And the parents are fighting, and they're kind of neglecting her, and this kind of pisses him off, but he's not really doing
Oh, it's
anything about it.
also a weird commentary on like influencer families.
Right,
Because
right,
The two families are like, oh, you were supposed to send the post out yesterday. Oh no, now we're gonna lose viewers and all this kind of stuff. And
We
they're
gotta
like-
record more content when we get home. You
so
know that,
then
right?
when
Like,
they exit the Uber and the daughter's
leave the little
just
girl there.
and then the guy's like, hey, you can get out now and go with your family. And then the girl decides to turn around and
hug the Uber
driver. And after
there was no connection in the car. They're not like they
talking,
don't see each other. He sees the little girl and they kind of lock eyes. Nothing emotional connected to it at all. Like it's not like like we're like I see you. No, there's nothing to it. It didn't warrant the hug.
Yeah, so she hugs this Uber driver, and then because it reminds him of his daughter that got stabbed and chucked off a ledge,
he cries.
And that's how the movie ends. That he just cries.
He just drops on the sidewalk and
he's
cries,
sobbing, and then he gets up and then gets back in the car and turns it on, and it's like roll credits.
Literally,
anyway,
Netflix. Roll credits. Nothing. Had nothing to say.
Go watch this. It's on Netflix right now.
It's like called 10 minutes, right, or something.
It's 14 minutes.
14 minutes.
But the weakest one of the bunch for sure.
Sounds good.
It's sure. Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry.
Okay, it's not as entertaining as we're making it out to be.
I'm sorry that
it sounds like, man, I just got
By the way,
together.
Netflix paid, I don't know, man. What's the budget, Austin? Maybe you can find the budget. At least $500,000 to make this short.
Yeah. Good
It
talent.
had a big name. The lead was in
Who was the big lead?
something. You've seen his face.
Yeah.
He's being promoted right now on that, I think it's a Paramount show, the Lawman Bass Reeves or something like that. Lawman Bass Reeves. He's the lead of that right now, but he's been in other movies and shows and shit. You spent how much money doing this thing? It was bad, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
Anyway,
moving right along.
That was the first one. The first one was like rocky as can be. The next one was
Invincible.
Red, White, and Blue. No, Invincible was like. Remember we saw.
Oh, we're doing them in the order we saw them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because I think it ramped up to getting better.
Okay, I'll talk about this one.
What does that mean?
You got to do West.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I'm trying to do the pattern.
Okay, Red, White, and Blue.
My Spanish is a little off. What does that mean?
Ian says, ese güey estaba en una madre bien astral.
Oh, like
the actor?
Yeah, like in.
You might be right, man. Yeah, he's been in big films. The lead, I forget his name, but anyways, David Oweyo. Wasn't he in Ted Lasso most recently too?
Get
Anyways, he's a big actor. He's a big name.
It was just a rough.
It's just a rough film.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving right along.
Yeah.
Red, White, and Blue. Oh dear God, had monster potential. Monster potential.
Oh,
Great.
yeah.
I heard it was good.
Great.
It's fan.
Almost Shyamalan twist.
Yeah, it had the best
Why
twist.
did you use that?
It had a great, but it wasn't like he was MLK in Selma. He was the lead in Selma, the dude from the last film. So he was that guy, man.
Yeah.
And he's in this short, like, why?
Yeah.
What for? This guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Selma. Jack Reacher. He was in The Butler.
Reacher.
He was the son in The Butler. That's
Dude.
right.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Great actor.
He was the best guy
Grossly
around.
misused. Whatever. Good for them, I guess. Netflix. I don't know, man. Whatever. The point is,
Yeah.
moving right along. Red, White, and Blue. Red, White, and Blue tells the story of a single mom raising two kids
In America.
White, and blue,
and you know, it's a typical kind of single mom working in a diner, trying to make ends meet over past due bills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It
And-
opens up.
What?
Oh, no, I was saying it opens up on the test.
On the what?
On the
test.
test.
Yeah. It opens up with essentially her looking at a pregnancy test, and she's pregnant.
Okay.
We know she's struggling by this point. We know she's like, there's over a past due bills and shit, and she's having a third kid. And shit, that's heavy. Or like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And at first you think it's gonna tackle abortion laws. Oh, this is the political short. It's gonna tackle abortion laws, and because she has to drive to another state. She's broke. She's flat broke. Has to travel to another state to get an abortion. Has to travel like 8 hours to get an abortion. And we see that she leaves her boy with her little boy with like a friend. And then the little girl's like, and you kind of, oh man, they're gonna make it into a road trip kind of thing. Oh, okay, cool. And it's like, oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, like a mother-daughter
road trip thing. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. That's great. And then we get to the abortion clinic, and she says, she's signing up, and it turns out she's signing in her daughter to get an abortion. And her daughter's like 12.
Oh, wow.
By the way, probably younger than that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe in that range.
Because the way that they reveal it
Yeah.
is that, there's this whole road trip. The daughter's like, oh, we can't stop at like the fair, and then they stop at the fair, but she can only go on one ride and stuff like that. And they get to the clinic, and the clinic's full because it's a state over.
It's the only abortion clinic in
It's the closest
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So she's like, I traveled all this way, and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
we'll
so
get in
did
line.
everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody did. So she says, okay, well, let me take your information, and then they say, oh, what's the date of birth? And then she says like 2013.
2013, yeah.
And it's like, oh shoot, wait a minute.
And he
like,
looks at her, he's like, and then
and you
they
see the
pan to the
daughter,
daughter, and it's
yeah.
like, oh, great,
Yeah.
cool, good. And then we get
They
to like, okay,
rush
we're gonna
in.
process her right
Yeah.
away, no worries.
Like, yeah.
And then we get to the flashback scene, right? Get to the flashback scene of what really happened.
Somebody broke
it's not
in.
super clear, but I guess
It looked like
it's
somebody
implied
broke in.
and like raped the little girl, and like
Yeah.
by the time the mom gets home, the ambulance is like the
Yeah,
EMS are
it's-
there,
it's
and they're
really
like,
heavy.
and then they kind of
portions.
get the bloody underwear, and like it's
It's
revealed,
super,
and,
super heavy,
and it's
yeah.
heavy, right? It's like, oh shit, okay, yeah, it's intense, okay, cool. And then we get back to present day, post surgery, they're back home. And I'm gonna use your voice to imitate this because this is how I read it in my head. This is how I saw it in my head. It's like the little girl's constantly not constantly. It's not constantly. It's very, 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 very bland. She has a little stuffed elephant
Okay.
No.
or rhino.
When
What
they
is it?
stop at the fair,
They bought a rhino.
no,
no.
they go on the merry-go-round.
And she rides
And she rides the elephant.
The elephant. It's the elephant.
And then the mom was like, "Oh, I knew you were gonna.
I knew you were gonna pick the elephant.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna pick the elephant because you did when you were a little girl."
Yeah. Yes. And
Yeah.
then the flashback scene reveals that there's a plushy elephant,
Right?
like bloodied on the floor and like tossed, you know. And it's like, okay,
Awesome.
interesting, okay. And then we get to the, and that's fine.
Yeah, everything's great
That's
at
okay.
this point.
That's okay. And then we get to the post-op kind of scene, and she's laying in bed, and yeah, I knew you were gonna pick the elephant, and she's like drawing an elephant, like she's painting an elephant, the little girl. And then she's like, yeah, I know you used to love elephants when you were a little girl. I knew you were gonna pick it. And she's like, I didn't pick the elephant because I love them. I picked the elephant because they're strong animals and they have a strong brain.
Oh, and they're loyal.
And they're loyal.
And they never give up under pressure.
And it's like,
oh my God.
it ruined the fucking film.
Yeah, because it like everything was great, and then you're seeing this girl. By the way, the girl has like no lines in the film. The girl like says like, "Mom, can't we go to the parade or something like that?" And it's like, "No, we're out of money." And it's like, "Mom, how about we go to the fairs, like the merry-go-round?" And it's like, "Fine, I guess we have enough for one ride, but we have to go because you know we have to get there." And then it's like you go through this whole experience, you get the reveal and everything. And she's just tucking in the girl, like, okay, time to go to bed.
Right.
And it's like, I picked the elephants because they're brave and they're strong, just like me. And it's like, oh my
But did
God.
you Google like why the
no,
director chose
it
that? or-
wasn't. It wasn't metaphorical. It
was
wasn't
nothing.
smart. It was
It
just
was
like
it was just like I picked it because elephants are tough like me. Like that's essentially how it kind of ended.
It was a buzzkill. It was
Bad,
a
man.
really bad
it was
buzzkill.
really
Like,
bad.
yeah,
it was just
it
bad
just-
writing. And by the way, another kind of hard hitter in terms of star power. You had Brittany Snow in the lead. Brittany Snow played the mom.
Oh shit, that's actually pretty good. It would have been better if you said because elephants never forget.
That would have been a little. That would have had a
shit.
little
That-
more weight. You know,
like, but they
Yeah.
didn't need it. Like honestly,
you honestly didn't need it.
if you
They-
had got
they-
it,
that-
like
they
if
could've
you'd
just-
gotten rid of that little monologue at the bad end of the film,
Right.
It would have just been tucking her in,
Yeah.
and then her being like, "Oh, that's what we had to go through," and then it's like, "Oh man, that's heavy,"
Right, right.
and you're left with the topic and the story's finished, but the girl having to like pull out this Barbie-esque random monologue
It
that's
sounds like
just
Yeah, man, it was
after
just
this
bad.
whole
It was
dark
just bad.
drama,
buzzkill.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
So just moving right along.
moving right along.
Invincible.
the wonderful.
Actually, no, we got.
You do Invincible because I want to do Knights of.
Oh, you want to do
Yeah,
Knights?
I'll do
Okay,
Knights.
Invincible. God, what an
Oh, I
interesting.
saw that one, dude, with Mark Wahlberg. It was so awesome, dude. I remember when I first watched.
Are you talking about the feature that Angelina Jolie did?
No, Invincible, the one with Mark Wahlberg, the Eagles.
No, you're thinking of The Incredibles.
Right?
Anyway,
You know what I mean, right? Okay, cool.
yeah. No. Anyway.
I don't listen to hip hop.
It was a Disney movie back in the day.
Oh, okay. Oh, is it about the Eagles draft?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Vince Papali.
Yeah.
So you know,
And
it hit
I
a
like
little
Disney,
better.
The
too, I don't
short film.
Anyways,
Yeah.
No,
to
it
be-
was a feature.
I'm talking about the short film. Now.
Yeah.
That's what really happened.
Oh, with Mark Wahlberg?
No, with
I
some-
derailed this whole thing. My bad.
It's
Go
some
for it.
French
Invincible.
Canadian kid. So it's a French Canadian short film.
Okay.
Based on a true story about this juvenile delinquent that basically he did some unknown bad action. Now he's in a detention facility, and then, long story short, one day he breaks out, steals a car, and then, as opposed to being captured and put back in the detention facility, he drives off into the river and kills himself.
Yeah.
And that's the story.
Okay.
Now, it tackles a moment where, or it tackles the period right before where
right before it goes back. So it's kind of like a halfway house, I guess, right? Like, he gets privileges, and like every weekend or so,
he gets to visit his family.
He gets to visit his family.
Okay, yeah.
And then he has to go back to the prison, essentially.
Yeah.
And we do see the full perspective. We do get the full scope of like his everyday life, kind of to an extent, and the constant kind of inkling, the constant kind of we think arc, I think, is he's constantly looking at open doors, like freedom, as a visual representation of freedom.
I like that.
And you think, oh, he's gonna escape. I mean, we kind of already know that, right? Because of the car thing.
Oh yeah,
it opens up with that scene.
with
Him crashing into the river.
Yeah, it opens up with him committing suicide.
Yeah.
But like,
so we see the open gates, and it's like, oh, there's a moment where it happens. Oh, there's a moment where it happens.
He's constantly reminding his younger sister, like, don't worry about me.
Yeah.
I'm invincible. Nothing can happen to me
nothing can
because
hurt me.
I'm I'm strong and I'm able to get past any situation. But you see that when he's put into juvie, basically,
he gets angsty and he gets,
like they tell him, like, dude, you're a smart kid.
Yeah.
You can get out of this. You just got to show us that you're willing to. And he's like, no, I can do it on my own. Like, I'm invincible. Nobody can touch me. And then at the very end, like, he ends up escaping and killing himself because he doesn't want to go back.
And then we essentially get a cut back to the sister, but it was cool in its execution. That's important to know. It was cool in its execution because we get one side of the conversation when he's throwing himself into the river.
Yeah.
And he's talking to his mom. Basically, like, he doesn't say a word, but the mom knows it's him. And it's like, hey, we got the call from the senator. We know you escaped. Just get home. Like, just be safe,
Oh,
like,
yeah, we have lasagna.
We have lasagna waiting for you. Like, it's okay. Like, everything's okay. I love you.
Lasagna's amazing.
And then, and then the end scene
It's like
is
my
that
third
same
favorite
conversation,
pasta.
but from the mom's perspective. And we see the sister listening to this entire conversation while she's kind of eating.
I like that.
And it's an interesting kind of like, now we get to see the sister process this whole thing,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
And it's cool. I don't think I had anything to say.
It's kind of, that's it.
Yeah,
it?
I just don't think it had anything to say.
It's the most visually appealing one.
Yeah.
Cinematography, beautiful.
Was great.
Yeah.
Great. Think like licorice pizza meets like
4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah.
Super nostalgic. And what makes it a popular pick, and a lot of people thought it was going to win, is the fact that it's based off a true story, that this actually happened to some kid, and they reference him at the very end of the film. And it's very touching towards a child wanting freedom after being put in something like juvie, but it didn't have a lot to say. I mean, we see this moment leading up to his death, and we see where he's at and how he feels, but
there's no really strong message into it.
no,
Like,
and that's the thing. It doesn't talk beyond in the human condition. It doesn't talk beyond what does this story mean.
There might have been a glimpse, when he was seeing these open gates and these open doors. There was potential.
But it didn't go
It
far.
fell flat.
Yeah.
It fell flat.
Yeah, I think what it was is that it was a very touching story about a child very young in his life. I think he was 15, taking his own life just because he was trying to prove a point.
There was no clear indication. Yeah, there was no clear. There was like the invincible point, and that was it. There was no like nothing can stop me, nothing can hold me. There was nothing. I just had this, and then we end up discovering in the end credits that this was a true story.
Oh, it says at the beginning.
Oh, it does. Okay, I didn't realize that till the picture.
It's in French.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know you knew French.
I didn't.
The picture. There's a picture of the real guy, like he's wearing the clothes. They got all those kind of moments, and the moment the link it had potential, man. It had a lot of potential.
It didn't go anywhere.
It just didn't. It fell flat. But anyways,
one that.
Well, John Gahn says sounds like a typical film fest winner that'd be showered with awards, but everyone questions what the fuck it's about. Yeah, man. I mean,
that's kind of where we're at.
Kind of hit on the nose, John Gahn.
There's always one like that.
Moving right along to.
I'd say it was
okay.
Yeah, I really like this one. Like, if it had
Top
won,
notch.
Yeah, if it had won, I would have given it all the praise and everything.
Yeah, I like how enthusiastic you
We're
guys are about it.
gonna talk about Knights of Fortune.
Yeah.
Knights of Fortune, a Norwegian picture, if I'm not mistaken.
Super. I'll just say this before you get into what it was. It was well shot.
Yeah.
Wonderful story. Very touching. It stays with you.
Comedic.
I think if the last one that we'll talk about, if that one wasn't on the list for this year,
Knights of Fortune.
This one would have taken
Knights
it for
of
sure.
Fortune.
Really?
It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was a fantastic picture, man.
Yeah,
Knights of Fortune is
go ahead.
about two gentlemen essentially, or we open up with a gentleman going to the morgue, and he has
In Denmark, I
in Denmark, and he has to identify his wife. Not just identify her, but she's already in the casket, so he has to kind of make sure that she's set and she's happy with this. And
No, I think it's I think like over there, you don't have like the funeral and everything. You just go to the morgue, and
don't have
before they
funerals?
bury him, the family can come on in and see him in the casket.
Okay.
That's why it was
I
like.
thought it was more like before we take him to the funeral home, you have to make sure that she's good.
No. I think that because that family at the end with the other one,
Yeah, maybe
like
that makes
they
a little
just come
more
on
sense.
in
Yeah.
and they say their last goodbyes and then
Yeah.
they bury him or put him away.
Okay, I don't know that it matters. It
but-
might be like a also like before they cremate him,
Yeah.
right? Like it might be just like before they cremate him. Anyways, he has to go and see his wife in the casket.
Yeah.
Right.
And essentially kind of give his last goodbyes and whatever. And it's cool because the doctor, he's obviously very callous. You know, he's just like, I do this all the time. So you go in, you might see a little yellow on their skin, you might see their mouths open. And he says something, at least the translation was like, dead people do that sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like kind of callous.
And he's super like that's what he says to everybody.
It's everybody.
He even has like an intern where
Yeah.
he says, "Oh, I hope you don't mind." Like
He's trainee.
He's training, and then the intern
big.
comes in and he says, "Oh, by the way, their skin might be yellow, and their
mouth
mouth
might
might
be
be open.
open.
It happens with dead people," and like
I'm
backs
on
off.
him.
It's very straightforward, right?
Yeah,
But it's
very clean.
it's kind of a cool thing, and you discover that this man is an electrician, and he's pointing out the light, and that light's not, it's flickering. Let me fix it. And he's an electrician, but he's doing everything in his power to not see his wife. He's avoiding it.
Yeah.
He's procrastinating, and then he fixes the fucking light and then breaks it. He like fixes it, and I was like, okay, cool, job well done, and then
Yeah.
it falls, and then like he's like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the restroom, put some water on my face, and try to process this. I just can't see her. And then he gets there.
Damn, that's
He sits
heavy.
in a stall, and then the guy next to him is like, do you have some tissue to spare? Like some toilet paper? He's like, yeah, sure.
Seinfeld.
Yeah. And he gives him like, oh, can you spare a square?
Can you spare a square?
And he's like, gives him a lot. He's like, thank you. And he's kind of just like, okay. Oh, fucking, he kind of washes his hands. He's about to walk out. And then the guy walks out and he's like, are you here to see a loved one? And he's like, yeah. He's like, no, like I work here. You know, like I fix lights. They're like
Still
just trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, well, I'm here to see my wife. You know, and I don't know why this guy feels he has a connection to this guy. It's just this kind of. We'll explain why at the end, but he's like, "Can you go in there with me? Like, I don't want to go in there by myself."
Yeah.
Naturally, this catches this guy's empathy. He's like, "Fuck it, okay, I guess."
And you look, and they're both like men of a similar age.
Yeah,
already
similar age,
loving
similar
this
age.
like-
And he
story.
says,
Bearded
I don't know if
dudes,
I can
tough
open. Like he
dudes.
says, I don't know if I can open the casket. You know,
Can you help me open
can
it?
you-
Help me,
Can you
yeah.
go in with me?
and then there's comedic elements like we're gonna count. Do we go on 3 or do we go on go? Like there's good
Yeah,
kind of
it's
little
great.
comedic beats. You know,
Yeah.
the doctor being callous, that 1, 2, 3 go thing. There's good comedic beats, and then they open it, and this guy busts out a 26-page apology letter to his wife.
Yeah.
Love letter like, I'm sorry that I didn't love you enough. I'm sorry that I let it. And you're
That's
looking at this
good.
guy, and this guy's like,
That's good.
are you gonna read the whole thing? Like he's kind of like constantly like, okay, dude,
Are
I'm
you-
done
I was here
helping
just for
you.
like a second
I'm
to
gonna
help you, yeah.
bounce. You know,
He says, like the first guy, the original one. He says, "Is there anything that's not an apology on your list?"
He's
And he's
like,
like, "No."
No.
And then he's like, "I'm sorry that."
Okay.
Oh, he says, like I cared about you, I cherished you.
I'm sorry that I
loved
didn't-
you. I'm sorry I never said that.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's
damn
like
it.
this whole thing, and it's like, oh shit, that's
That's
interesting,
good.
right? And then and then the door opens. The door opens, okay? And then in walks a whole family. Mom, dad, brother,
sisters,
sister,
everything.
kids, grandkids. And there's a gentleman, slightly older than these gentlemen, right? He's kind of up there in age, and he's kind of like the guy kind of leading this trip. And then he was like, the original guy's like, I guess they're your family. Like, do you know? And he's like, like
No,
he
I
just
don't know
stays
these
quiet. He just stays quiet. And then these guys start like eulogizing this woman.
Yeah, and it's a different name,
And it's a different
everything.
name. And then he walks out, and then the guy follows him like, "Hey, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry." And he just like, "Dude, I gotta go deal with my own
Yeah.
shit. Go over there." He goes back, and the doctor's like, "This and that," and he kind of like, "Oh, I still can't do it." And then the doctor basically tells him like he asks the doctor like, "Who the fuck is that dude?" Like,
Yeah, like who did I just
who
go
did I
in
just
with?
go? And he's like, "Oh, he's here every day." His wife was here once upon a time, and he never had the courage.
No, she got lost at sea.
Oh, you're right. He never got to see his wife. She got lost at sea. You're right.
Yeah.
He never
Oh,
got to.
I would have liked the other one, but it kind of sounds like
No, like he
never
just
got the
never got.
chance, but now-
Exactly,
now
he just never
yeah.
got to do this.
Yeah.
And
So
now-
every woman, basically of that age, that he kind of encounters,
goes,
like he
"That's
goes,
good."
and this guy's like, "Ah, fuck, okay."
Yeah.
And then there's a really special moment when he's trying to help who he thought was his wife.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, my wife loved this song, a song that both of their wives liked."
Okay.
They have a kind of special moment, which is what the name is. The Knight of Fortune is the name of the song.
Okay.
And they're like, "Oh, that's yeah." She's like, "Okay, cool." And then he goes outside to a park bench where this guy's now sitting, like kind of embarrassed, like, and he sits next to him, and he's like, "I get it," like.
Yeah.
I
They
need
both kinda
help.
laugh it off.
Yeah, they kind of laugh it off.
Yeah.
Special moment, and he's like, I need help. Like the original guy finally admits, like, I need help seeing my wife. I'm here for that. And he like lights up, like, oh, I can actually help you. Like, I know what to do in this situation.
like
you know?
that arc.
So they go into the room, and again, 1, 2, 3, go thing. It's kind of comedic. And then he just kind of sobs, man. He has this moment that he says, the other guy starts singing the song. That
Knights of Fortune.
Knights of Fortune that both of their wives liked. And then it kind of blends into the end credits, and they put the actual song for the end credits. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful fucking picture.
It's an amazing
Yeah.
film.
Yeah,
Like
terrific.
Like I said,
the acting Castro, superb.
Where would they put these shorts?
Well, on that Shorts TV thing,
yeah,
for
if you,
sure.
if you
Shorts
look up
TV?
short, like you can probably look it up now because now
Yeah,
that the
now that
Academy
they're out.
Awards are over, they usually post them
They
either on
usually post
Shorts of
them?
the
Yeah.
Week or different
Okay.
places. But that one, if it wasn't for the last one, it for sure would have won
Fantastic
because it just had so much care.
Yeah.
It was shot extremely well. It had all these wonderful beats to it, and in a very short period of time, you really connected with these characters.
Must have been, what,
you-
20 20
Yeah, and it was
20?
great. It was fantastic. Like I
Terrific,
mean,
terrific
I'm
picture.
not gonna say that one was terrible at all. Like that, it was.
There's nothing bad about that.
It
The,
was
the
so-
acting, the casting, the direction.
If you
the
have a chance to go and
cinematography,
watch
yeah.
Knights of Fortune, it's a foreign
of
language.
Fortune.
Like I said, it was
It
in
is a
Denmark
Norwegian
or so.
picture, yeah.
But yeah, fantastic film.
Moving on to the last one.
The winner of this year's Oscar in the live action short film category. Before we get to all the other awards, because man, we've stayed here for a while.
We thought we were gonna breeze through
Yeah,
the opening
no, I
ones,
know.
right?
No. The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, directed by Wes Anderson.
One of 3 short films he
All
released
right,
this
moving
year.
along.
Yeah,
man.
let's get it going.
No, Austin kept
Phenomenal,
making the
phenomenal
joke
picture, by the way.
like all year long. He was like, "Do you think Wes Anderson just made a short so he could finally get an Oscar because he couldn't get anything else?" He didn't even show up to the award ceremony.
No, he didn't care.
Yeah,
I don't think he cares.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, oh,
This is his only Oscar ever.
it's his only
And he
Oscar.
didn't show up.
Well, because I mean,
Are you really gonna be Wes Anderson and show up for a short?
yeah,
But it's an Oscar.
dude. Nah, I feel like he's
I
up-
understand. Yeah, I kind of get it.
like he's up there
Yeah.
with like I'd say like Nolan, Scorsese,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
on a tour and having like
absolutely.
married.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
like I think if he directs a feature and it gets Oscar nominated, if he wants to do that, that'll be our snub episode discussion.
We're actually going to be talking about Asteroid City on the next
Yeah.
episode. We're going to release that. But
We have to.
something to note. This is my perspective. This is my theory.
because he.
Wes Anderson didn't accept his first
He's already
Oscar
working
because
on
he's
his
already
next
working
movie.
on his next movie. Well, okay, fine. That's a bullshit answer, but whatever. You can fly in from Paris to the Oscars
kids
for
gonna
1
look
week.
at that and be like, "Oh,
Production
Brad,
is on
he
No,
doesn't
but
film
this is
early
my
Monday morning.
theory. My theory is
Is it announced
Oscars
the title?
don't.
I don't know.
Oscars don't just magically appear. Oscar nominations don't just magically appear. You campaign for them and you submit your film for Oscar consideration.
Yeah.
You have to submit. I don't think Wes Anderson cares. After Grand Budapest and that whole kind of era, I don't think he cares about winning an Oscar. In fact, after screening Asteroid City, I thought Asteroid City for screenplay, for directing, for production design, this film deserves so much. So much. The Phoenician Scheme.
Okay.
I thought Asteroid City was a great picture, and it didn't get any love for any category.
Yeah.
I'm convinced Wes Anderson just doesn't submit to the Oscars.
I
anymore.
think the only reason that the short got submitted is because
Netflix.
Netflix probably made a deal with him that said like, "Hey, we'll give you all this money,
Ooh, that
full
kinda makes
range."
sense.
I mean, the one that won, we're talking about that this was filmed in both the United States and the UK on a
Asteroid City was
soundstage.
what? Amazon?
No, it was still Universal.
Indian
It was
paintbrush. Universal. Okay.
Yeah, it was Universal, and I thought because Universal like they would campaign for it.
Well,
no.
but Oppenheimer.
yeah.
That's
so
there.
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
But it was shot in both the United States and the UK on this big sound stage in the UK. And if you watch The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, I mean,
Yeah.
it's based on the Roald Dahl
Short story.
short story, but it
Great
that,
picture.
that book,
Great
It had a
picture.
bunch of short stories. So all the shorts are based on each of the different short stories that are there.
Starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Ben Kingsley and
my
Dev
gosh.
Patel.
Like, yeah.
I mean, this cast is insane, and they do insanely well.
Yeah.
And at first, mind you, we had seen the other two, and they're shorter. They're like one's 8 minutes,
They're
one's like
13
14
minutes each,
13
yeah.
minutes, right? And it's like, oh man, like okay, that was fun, and that's cool, and that's great. And then we get to this one, and I'm like, oh, I thought they were going to take a different turn. They kind of started the same way. And we cut to breaking the fourth wall, and then key moments, and then the exposition. And I'm like, oh, wow, Wes, okay, right? And then it develops into the story it develops into. And then we get in front of our eyes the magic trick of what theater usually does, which is an argument that Law and I were kind of getting into.
Yeah.
In front of our eyes, the set changes in real time, and it's beautifully done, man. Orchestrated extremely well, and we had seen that in the corn one.
Yes.
In the other short.
And it's this
And it's
amazing
like, wow.
thing
Yeah.
that Wes does in this film.
Yeah.
Because the story really is
Yeah.
of Henry Sugar, that there was a man a rich man who, he's kind of a, like, I don't know how else to describe him other than like a douchebag.
Yeah.
Like, he would gamble just because he liked the fact that he could win money. In fact, he goes to a library. He's wealthy. He just kind of lives life very vicariously or lavishly.
Yeah,
I should say.
He's just bored of his life. He's bored of his rich life.
He goes to a library and he picks up a very thin book just because it's kind of an outlier in this section of very big books. And in there, the book talks about this Indian guru or man who basically... He had the ability...
And it's kind of now on a traveling circus, essentially.
Yeah, he had this ability that you could blindfold him, and as much as you would try to blindfold him, he could see without his eyes. His eyes could be closed, he could be blindfolded, you could cover his entire head, and he could see everything perfectly without his eyes.
And the book tells you that story of, like, how he got there.
Yeah.
Like, how he gained this magic, this superpower, this ability. And we go into kind of that story, and this guy gets obsessed because he thinks, I can use it for playing cards.
Yeah, like basically
get even richer.
After this whole story of how this man dedicates his life to meditation to get closer to, God, the Indian belief, or get closer to spiritual perfection. Mm-hmm. Like,
the way they made him levitate, man.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. They use this technique where
cheeky.
Yeah, like basically they're saying, and then he levitated off the ground, and they pull out this box that's painted to look like the background. And he sits on top of the box.
And they just turn the blocks. Yeah, and then he sits on top of it, so it looks like it's a very bad optical illusion that they probably used in 1930s pictures. But it was
worked.
Cool. It worked.
But basically, after telling the story about how this man meditated for years to be able to see without his eyes, it talks about how Henry Sugar just basically says, I could cheat at cards doing this technique. And then it talks about how Benedict Cumberbatch dedicates his life or years to get to the point where then he can finally, within 5 seconds, see a playing card in a deck without his eyes. Like he could
like kind of like his role in Doctor Strange, like the original. Kind of like how he meditates and he follows the books and he sees the ability just to gain the power properly, and kind of falls in love with the meditation factor of it all. That's kind of the character he's playing in this, but much more focused and much more direct. And then essentially he gets fucking rich.
Yeah, he basically gains the ability to be able to predict every playing card. Not even predict, he can see every playing card.
Yeah.
And then he goes to casinos and wins
Rounds on blind,
he wins all this money. And then he says, "Oh man, I'm too good at this. Like I have to pretend that I'm not that." Or what he does that later on, he changes his identity. But then after,
and he gives this whole exposition. That's what I said.
Yeah,
it's this whole. It gives this whole kind of exposition in the voiceover of like. I thought to myself, I'm going to make myself lose every once in a while. I'm not going to gamble at the same house. I'm not going to win so much money. I got to be smart about this. I'm going to go to different gambling houses. And eventually he wants to get even better at this, right? So he goes back to the original place where this meditation was learned, and meets the guru. And like kind of wants to learn from him and this and that. And he kind of meets him at the traveling circus thing and stuff. And then he discovers he dies. He reads it in the paper or something. Or he discovers that he dies.
Henry Sugar?
Henry Sugar discovers that the guru
died.
The Ben Kingsley character.
Oh yeah, that he dies just kind of one day through a heart attack. And all
through a heart. Oh, and that's another thing. He gets see through his fucking body.
He gets
and
what?
He could see like an X-ray.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he like can tell. Oh, I'm about to have a stroke. I should probably take care of that. Let me go ahead and do that. Or like I'm about to have a heart attack. Let me go ahead and take
But
care of that. Like
the crazy thing is that even though he can see and he can predict it, he lets it happen.
he lets it happen at the end of it.
Yeah.
He's like kind of like, this is a part of life, so I have to let it happen.
Yeah.
I can't control everything.
And then Benedict Cumberbatch's character, the one who like cheats at gambling, he gets so bored with the fact that like, wait a minute, gambling's not fun. I can win anything because I can always see everything that's going on. So then
He gets the money.
He ends up giving the money to charity, and he builds
Throws it in
schools
the-
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And what the whole thing is like, why did that one win? Sounds like you like.
Oh,
you like
That
the other
one
better.
won
Phenomenal
because
story.
You guys like the other Knights.
okay, that one won because one, the story's super engaging when you
Okay.
watch it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
two, it is so insane the amount of preparation
Yeah, yeah.
to get these magical moments. It okay,
Like I feel like
let me
with
break it
shorts,
down.
I feel with shorts.
Yeah.
What ends up winning? Ends up winning the short
Yeah.
is like if best directing was fitted into a short.
Yeah,
Directing wins the short, in my
Right, right,
opinion.
right, right.
The directing of this film, I mean,
when you
Great.
think of like okay, I was talking to Carlos. When you think of like theater, right?
Yeah.
Theater. The impressive part of it is the fact that it was done right in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
Like they can't hide anything. There's no
100%.
cuts. There's no editing.
100%.
That's the impressive part of theater. This film found a way to incorporate the elements of live action theater into film, where you're seeing these actors very quickly change sets, change
Yeah.
costumes, change everything right in front
and
of you.
at first glance, because I
Yeah.
told Delos, I'm like, okay, I got a couple questions. You know, I'm
Yeah.
asking myself, could have this just been a very successful play?
A play.
As opposed to a cinematic triumph, right?
Right.
And the reason it can't is because if you look at like Buster Keaton and a lot of his comedies, they were meant for the screen because they were able to do these visual gags where
Oh, I see where you're going
you'll
with
see
it.
him like hide in front of something,
Yeah.
and then the screen moves and he doesn't because like
That's
it's
the whole
only-
illusion.
It's an optical illusion.
Well,
yeah,
yeah, right. I mean, Méliès did it better than anybody.
yeah.
But I think that I was like, okay, fine, that's cool. That's valid, right? Why is Wes doing this? This could have been a feature. This could have been a very extensive, perfect feature,
Sounds
right?
like one.
This is a 40-minute short film. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then I was telling the lawyers, I think I'm convinced that, yeah, sure, this was an homage to Roald Dahl stories.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. But I'm convinced that just whatever he thinks isn't good enough for a feature, isn't quite there. Okay. I'm gonna do a short. I still want to tell this story. You know, it kind of like I'm gonna
I
do a
can kinda
short
see
out of
that.
that. So I thought that was very interesting. I mean, yeah, Wes killed it, man. Wes killed it.
I think it just swept the shorts category because one, it was 40 minutes. Like this was the longest short possible. It was.
I bet you all the shorts got
the
mad at
budget
that, like-
must have been insane because Netflix was funding this thing.
I have one more thing to say before
Yeah.
we move on because we have a lot of categories
Yeah,
to
man,
get
we-
into.
we-
But I've for aspiring filmmakers out there because you're watching, you make short films.
Yeah.
Number one, I felt very good about what we're doing here in El Paso. We're doing at Tower with
Okay.
our shorts. After walking out of that shorts category, I was like, all right.
Nice.
We're doing
Like,
okay.
we
We're
can
doing
make
okay. We can
something
do
in there.
this. We
Yeah.
can. Yeah, this is great.
Everybody.
Great. Yeah, and then the second immediate thought was, don't let length dictate your picture. The Oscar winner of this year was a 40-minute short film.
I've always preached
So,
that.
so
Yeah.
please, you
But
know,
you guys always are
I
like,
mean,
you don't want
within,
to.
within reason, right?
Within
the
reason,
intention
because
and reason.
again, we've talked to a lot of people,
Yeah.
and we're even getting comments on our current short that we're developing.
Yeah,
You need to understand where your short is,
Yeah.
where it's gonna go, and understand
you
that
couldn't have tightened Henry
Sugar.
Henry Sugar any tighter in 40 minutes.
It had
You
to
couldn't
be- it
have, you
had to
couldn't
be.
have tightened that
Yeah,
picture,
because that
made
was
it
so
any.
compact. It
Yeah,
was so dense.
yeah. So that's important to know.
I'm gonna say if we can come back to this category, I gotta go pee. That's just a real fact of us doing a live show, you know.
Go pee.
I was about to say,
quick.
just wrap it up and we'll pick it up. we
No,
can't wait for you.
Go pee.
Yeah,
Do adapt it. I don't know, hairstyle.
Best makeup and hairstyle.
did you see it?
I'm so pissed off that Maestro didn't get it.
Yo, did you see
Yeah,
it? Though?
What?
Did you get to watch Poor Things?
No, I haven't, dude. I know it probably came out on Hulu. I know.
Best, yeah. Okay, so Goda. I didn't see that.
didn't see
Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow. I'm telling you, man, making these dudes in Society of the Snow
You were talking about like
The
the
scarring and making them. I mean,
enough
they're
to be best makeup.
dude. You have to show these guys ribs because they're starving.
Oh, I did see a scene like
you
that.
You have to show their bruising because of how sensitive their skin is, dude. They're in cold conditions, frostbite, the scars, everything, dude. It was immensely impressive.
But compared to all the makeup that Bradley Cooper had to go through,
Maestro, I thought was a lock. I
Right.
think everybody thought Maestro was a lock.
So why for Poor Things? I haven't seen Poor Things.
Oh man, okay.
I've seen her, but she's not wearing any makeup. That's all I see.
you see different iterations of all the characters. More specifically is obviously Willem Dafoe, right? His makeup.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I see a
But
picture of that.
the interesting part of that is we kind of see Bella Baxter, Emma Stone's character.
Mm-hmm.
We see her evolution through her style to an extent. Obviously through her dialogue and through the exposition of where her brain is in terms of
through her
development,
style.
through her clothes, through her hair, because we start out with her being a child, right?
Yeah, they were talking about it's
toddler.
kind of like a Frankenstein
And kind of just wearing just plain kind of clothes. And then we get to like a scene where there's a sexual discovery. She's wearing a nightgown, and then we get to a scene where essentially she becomes a prostitute. And of course, naturally you have the corsets and you have this is the 1800s, right? So
Right.
and her hair changes with that too. So I think in terms of intentionality to drive the story forward,
It did work.
yeah.
It was,
and I know we're not talking about costuming per se, but just the style of her character is really depicted in the evolution of her as a woman, essentially, right? She's growing as a woman.
Right.
And even at the end, she has a much more sophisticated hairstyle because she's one. And so I thought it was very interesting. Maestro did the unseen thing, right?
Yeah,
Maestro
I was
did
gonna
the
say-
unseen thing, right? We don't feel it. We don't feel it change. We see him age.
Yeah.
We don't feel the change in the makeup, which is almost more impressive, right? But I think for the amount of what they did in Poor Things, I could be okay with that. Yeah, we're talking about Poor Things. Well, you said makeup and hairstyling, and it won. Give your take on it because I'm with you.
For where you're at.
I think Maestro is very interesting in its
no, but I like
approach.
the way you explain it. Like it helped develop carry on the
What do you
story.
think? Why do you think Poor Things won for makeup and hairstyling?
I think it's
My
because
argument was because her evolution as a woman, right?
Yeah.
We see her as a child, and we see her kind of grow, and we see the different hairstylings as she because her sexual discovery and the prostitution aspect, and
dude,
we
I
kind
had
of.
my own sexual discovery with that film. Are you kidding?
Oh, I love Kimmel's joke about that. These were all the scenes we could show from Poor Things.
Oh my god.
So, anyways,
I
what's
will
your
say
take
this,
on makeup and hairstyling?
Okay. It kind of plays into cinematography and everything else we'll talk about when it comes to why Poor Things got its Oscar love. I think that the whole visual metaphor for this film was seeing the world with fresh and open eyes. And
I love that.
And it's like this childlike wonder.
That's how
I
you
mean,
start,
the
yeah.
whole
Right.
thing of like being
Jan,
wide-eyed.
Jan RMZ says hi on YouTube.
Hi, hello,
Hey.
nice to see you.
Oscars. Go for it.
No, it's this idea of being like a wide-eyed child, looking at the world for the first time. And I'd say that, obviously this world is very fictional. This whole Frankenstein-esque doctor, which they call God.
Kind of a Victorian kind of post.
Yes.
I mean, it feels postmodern because of
Yes.
the elements, but
But in that, it's this very fictitious world. But, for a child, I'd say everything's very magical.
Yeah, they're
Everything
curious.
everything is so new and so fresh. And I feel like to use very normal clothing or very historically
it
accurate
would be a
clothing.
disservice. It would be a disservice, right?
You wouldn't get the same effect as
We're
an
not
adult
talking-
viewer.
We're also
Okay.
not talking about the clothing.
No,
We're talking
but
about
I
making
mean,
the
they also won for clothing. But
they really?
yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
So
to
then we
kind
can
of
just
tie
talk
that,
both
that's
off
why
then.
I'm talking
Oh, yeah,
about
yeah.
it in general.
For sure. So it works. Yeah.
That's why I'm talking about it in general.
Yeah.
Because we're also going to talk about it for all the categories it won in.
And product design too.
Yeah.
Production.
No,
That-
to do that, I feel like for an adult audience, we're not going to get the same wonder and mystic of normal clothing or normal makeup. You need to do something with the characters that makes them feel almost Dr. Seussian in its approach. So I feel like when you look
because
at,
that was the stylistic choice of the director for the whole picture.
Yorgos, yeah.
For Yorgos' style of the whole picture, which is something he's never done before, at least not to this extent.
Exactly. So when you look at the makeup, when you look at the wardrobe, and we'll kind of breeze through that in the production design.
You guys have seen Spy Kids, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Robert
Right,
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. When you think of Spy Kids, either one or two, but both kind of do the same effect, and they throw you into this world.
Yeah.
Where how kids are seeing they're the imaginative kind of process of a kid of what's getting their attention, right, and what's opening up their imagination.
Right.
Yorgos did this for adults in this whole picture, right? But with the intention of the wide-eyed aspect of her being a child and us seeing it through her perspective, right?
So
that's
I
catchy.
feel like when you're looking at it, it's not just because we've seen other films that do these period pieces, that do these micro changes,
very bland, very,
and that's in and of itself
Napoleon,
an
for instance.
achievement.
Napoleon,
Yeah, it's a super big achievement. This is doing the exact same thing, but in a more creative fashion, and I think with a lot of intentionality into what the viewer's going to experience when they see this makeup, when they see this costuming, when they see the production design. It needs to feel fresh. In the cinematography, that's why I was voting for cinematography.
And they could have been cheeky, man. They could have fucked this up really badly.
It could have been
It could have been like Marie Antoinette, the Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette.
Yeah.
It could have been bad, man. And then they did it. They did a really good job in its execution. By the way, John Gon says.
Yeah, I was reading it.
Usually it's because they love films that they use heavy prosthetics for makeup.
Okay.
But I think it was because they had more variety in terms of character makeup and hair. Yeah, sure. I mean, they had more,
you could
more
say
of an
that
art,
with,
right? As opposed to Maestro in the sense that all we do is see him age.
Yeah, but you could have done that with all these films. I mean, when we're talking about Oppenheimer, when we're talking about Napoleon, Killers of the Flower
No, but
Moon.
I know what he means in terms of style.
Yeah.
Just how much of a variety, how much... there's a picture called Variety Lights from Federico
That's what I'm
Fellini.
taking.
And any of the circus kind of Federico Fellini films has this. Variety Lights, Juliet of the Spirits. Like, there are these characters, right? These circus kind of freaks of characters that just keep your attention the whole picture and kind of freak you out, kind of scare you. And like Willem Dafoe's character, is such a really interesting character. And the makeup heightens his character. It doesn't make his character, just heightens.
Yeah,
his
just
character. Even Ruffalo didn't feel like Ruffalo, man. It was good, great picture. Ian says, "Ese es el otro Ian." Oh, okay. Ian has a buddy named Ian. And both Ians are in the chat right now. So, hey, Ian. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Moving right along. Editing.
Austin, you're going to have to chime in because...
Oppenheimer, dude.
Cheers, sir.
Over Killers,
Oppenheimer,
over
dude. Cheers.
Holdovers.
I mean, we had a lot...
What do you mean over holdovers?
Holdovers I liked. And I'm...
You said budget for editing.
It was all right. I mean, I think you... It was weird. Let's make note of this. Austin, you felt...
What did Austin feel?
You felt very locked in.
I feel a lot of things.
I know.
Castro. This is me and Castro's hour now.
Oh, okay.
How did you feel when Oppenheimer won, dude? When Nolan won his first Oscar?
I feel sick right now, man.
What?
Like, I've had a cough these past couple days, and,
Yeah, I've been hearing it the whole episode. So anyway, Scorsese.
What were you guys saying, huh?
I was saying...
Hey, you're the one with the headphones, bud.
Well, you kicked us out of the podcast for a brief moment in time. Let's just...
I still cut to you guys. I hope you know that.
Oh, okay. No, I was just going to say this.
Scorsese didn't win, and we
You
were all
felt
happy.
as locked in as we did about these categories, and Oppenheimer got a lot more love, but you were very, conflicted about that. How do you feel
Well,
right
yeah,
now?
because, I loved Oppenheimer, and I love Nolan, but I felt like Killers was way better edited. Especially with the passing of time. Yeah.
But I rewatched Oppenheimer at least a little bit recently, and the mixture of the two time periods, the court case
and
with...
that's the same reason that Dunkirk won over Baby Driver years ago.
You
And
think
that
so?
kind of frustrates me.
Oh, but you kind of admitted later, right? Like that
Yeah,
it was
maybe
it
I
was substance over Flash, right?
Yeah.
So that's fair.
Yeah,
do you
but
feel
there's
this?
definitely a lot of substance within Killers. Though.
Yeah. Oh, I have to ask you. And John Gon poses the same thing. Oppenheimer was my pick. I thought it was definitely deserved it, but backup was Killers of the Flower Moon. Why? What about Killers deserved it over Oppenheimer?
For me,
in
it
your-
was
in your
just the feeling of the pacing.
feeling of the pacing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a 3.5 hours.
It's hard, right? That's hard
Yeah.
to do. That's fair.
But
Okay.
And Killers got no love this year.
Yeah, dude.
I wasn't gonna bring it up to the director category, but this is the fourth time Scorsese has a film in the Oscars that is 0 for 10.
Really?
Fourth time.
Second in a row, huh?
Second in a row. What, Irishman was last year?
Well, I mean, like, second film in a row that happened.
No. Oh, in a row. Yeah. So fourth time, Scorsese gets 10 nods and no wins. You know, I told you guys this was gonna happen. I don't know why anybody's surprised. I mean, it is what it is.
it's
I was really
not-
surprised because I felt like
Is
I
it
felt
political? No, it's
Just
just.
because of the whole, what was it?
It's just
Barbie and
I
Oppenheimer.
love
I will
Marty to
say,
death. I don't need to overstate that on this podcast. I already do.
American Fiction, the writer for American Fiction, director also, he did give Marty some love.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
saw that.
Yeah,
But it was
give
that
him-
anybody could be Marty. That was his love.
Yeah. I thought Nolan was gonna give him love. I was a little disappointed in Nolan, but that's just
But
me.
to be fair, that's just Nolan. He keeps
Yeah,
it
no,
short.
Yeah,
just
he
keeps
keeps
it
it short.
classy, dude.
But my whole thing is, at the end of the day, there's better films. There was better films this year. There was better films
Yeah.
last year. You know, so it's yeah.
I still stand on my ground that Killers was better.
Yeah, me
edited.
too. It's way better than Oppenheimer.
No, not as a
For best
whole.
picture, you mean, or just in
Talk
general?
about editing.
And in
Was
whole, dude.
do you think it might have just been campaigned more?
Oh yeah, dude.
Well, that's part of it for sure, right? Apple's got that Apple money though. Yo, what's up?
Yeah, but I mean, still not Netflix money though.
Oh, man.
No, but
Yo,
they're about to rack.
Well,
they're,
you know
about
what?
to
that
rake,
That's
phone
true.
in your
No,
hand.
that is true. That is. I
Netflix
thought
doesn't
about
have
it
cell
as soon as I said
phones.
they're about to rake it in with the Apple Vision Pro.
Exactly, that too, man.
Oh,
Yes,
that's a good
the
strategy.
Apple will be all right. They can fund our films. Apple will come talk to you soon. That actually is happening, by the way. But yeah, I mean, I just think.
It's, look,
Oh, man.
what I said last time in the last
I also
episode.
think Apple's really new in the game, and they probably don't know how to campaign to an extent. You know what I mean?
True. As a
That's
streaming
also part of it,
service.
right? Netflix at the
As a
very least
streaming
has been
service, yeah.
campaigning for best.
And they've had like
and,
Roma.
and Universal no telling, right? They've been doing this for fucking 100 years, you know. So yeah, Roma didn't win Best Picture. That
No, but it was campaigned well, and I think
It was
it won
campaigned well, yeah.
Best International.
it won Best International, won Best Director.
Should have won Best Film.
Should have won Best Picture that year. What won that? Green Book, right? That was the Green Book year.
That was
yeah.
a Green Book year.
But we like to say that it set the pace for Parasite.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just think Apple maybe just didn't. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not
It's
gonna
not-
lie.
it's still
I'm not
growing.
gonna lie. Oppenheimer was the better picture. It was. No, I do think it was.
And we always talk about like last episode rewatchability.
You know,
I'm not gonna watch Oppenheimer again. I know
I
you were
am.
looking at
I have
because
to.
you love the cinematography of
No,
it.
I love Einstein. He was so cute. I just wanted to touch his little.
I love that scene
cheeks.
though. I love
no,
that scene.
I think just Oppenheimer for me
Killers
is
has-
one of those pictures. For me, Oppenheimer was. I'll just state it
Killers
this
is
way.
one of those just like it's in whatever scene it's on, you can watch it.
Nah,
Oppenheimer is
man.
like, dude, I gotta watch it from the beginning because
Dude, I feel like Killers, if anything, has the challenge of rewatchability is similar to The Irishman. That you need to really be invested in those acts, and you can't just
rewatchability, unwatchability.
rewatch.
Irishman and this one, it just
Listen, this
doesn't-
is what I'll say about
You
this.
get what I'm saying, right?
Yes, this is what I'll say about he's being a fucking idiot. This is what I'll say about this.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer for me, and I'm with you guys, so I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna but I'm not gonna go out of my way to rewatch Oppenheimer.
exactly.
But
Maybe some.
I
certain-
think Oppenheimer, in terms of the arc, in terms of this kind of existential question of humanity, is something I'm gonna not only am I gonna be thinking about for years, but
For sure.
I'm gonna want to rewatch it to explore that theme a lot.
And to see Nolan's
And
ability
Killers
to
of the Flower
experiment.
Moon, let's face it, dude.
That's
Killers
where-
of the Flower Moon, and they admitted this. Lily Gladstone just went on the podcast recently and said the reason Marty wanted to tackle this film now was because this was during the pandemic. This was during the riots, the Floyd, the African American gentleman got
Yeah,
killed
yeah.
by
Oh,
police.
yeah,
Floyd.
Oh man, what's his name?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry,
but
too.
it was during that height of Black Lives Matter. It was during the political
Right.
kind of. So they were like, "Well, this film is very now. You know, we're killing the American
True.
public,
True,
killing
true.
natives, and going
But-
to tackle a people and
Okay.
genocide. To an extent, it's very now. I don't think people are gonna care.
Oh, bro.
In 10 years.
Anybody that loves history, I'm talking about Oppenheimer and this shit. But anybody that loves, like, what was it, Osaka?
I guess I just think cinematically, obviously, what I love about my wife, ladies and gentlemen, George Floyd. Thank you, Jong-un. George Floyd.
was a better film.
Sandra says Killers of the Flower Moon was better.
Don't you be
Speaking for
Period.
myself, I actually thought Oppenheimer flowed
Float.
better. Never once was I bored and disinterested. Even though Killers was great, I did feel the length for that one at times.
What? I didn't feel the length. I'll disagree with you
I
there.
would disagree
However, Killers is an amazing picture, and the only thing that I love about not the only thing, one of the bigger things that I love about Killers of the Flower Moon is that it just proves Tarantino's theory wrong.
What?
That Tarantino stopping at 10 films because he feels like all of his heroes, when they got old, made shitty films. Bullshit.
I agree.
This is clearly a tell on that, and
I
it's
agree.
just encouraging to see that Scorsese's still firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Period. Like that's what makes me happy about
one of them a couple of years ago, but
that's what made me happy about Killers of the Flower Moon, and not to mention I'm still defending like Leo's role in that. And Lily Gladstone did amazingly, but and
we'll
Bob
get to that.
and
We'll
Bobby
get to
De
that.
Niro too. But I do feel in this like kind of cinematic. Think of like Oppenheimer, like this modern non-comedic Doctor Strangelove, you know. And
Yeah.
it's
And I-
gonna
and I-
live on in
I
that
do,
kind
I
of
do.
regard.
No,
Whereas
yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon is similar to like it's similar to this. It's similar to the
Gangs of New
racist
York.
picture. Well, no, it has
History?
more substance than Gangs of New York, I think.
American
But
History?
no, the racist Birth of a Nation. Birth of a Nation.
Oh shit!
That's how Killers of the Flower Moon's gonna survive in cinema. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see where you're going. with
Whereas
it.
Oppenheimer as like this, existential. What are we as
Oh.
humans if not fucking destroyers of ourselves?
Quick note for Diego Munoz.
No, not yet.
You haven't missed that. We're
not there yet.
Yeah, we've been
We'll get there.
covering a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot still to come. I don't think we've hit international yet. Oh no, we did hit international.
No, yeah, but
But
we haven't.
then-
Anatomy of a Fall was nominated for international.
No,
No,
it
that's
was
original
nominated
screenplay.
for
Original script.
Original screenplay
Original
and
screen.
More coming
picture.
up.
Yeah. Anyways,
It's coming up.
so yeah. Anyways, just we'll wrap it up because my guess is down the line, maybe in a couple years when it's not so fresh, we'll talk about Oppenheimer as a whole, and we'll talk about Killers of the Flower Moon as a whole.
Okay.
That we'll have those discussions down the line.
For best original score, I'll just say this. I think
I
that
think it was a pretty clear winner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for
Although I
sure.
wanted it for
Look,
Robbie. I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
it for Robbie.
I
Yeah.
don't remember the score.
no, but the score when you watch it in
no.
the movie, in the context of the movie,
It was similar to
did I-
Interstellar, by the way.
No, it's because
But
the
it was
score.
Ludwig. It wasn't.
It wasn't
Han.
Zan. Yeah,
I know.
The score
But if you're gonna get
incorporated.
somebody to
My bad, my
replace
bad, my
Hans,
bad.
you're gonna make it Hansi.
Yeah. I'll just say that the score incorporated the elements of like the Geiger counter and a lot of like the mechanical elements of like them testing for the bomb. It blended really
Oh,
well.
Yeah.
I do remember
So
now.
when you
That's true.
listen to it, it blends really well with the subject matter and
forgot.
it sticks with you.
By the
when
way,
you watch it.
aside from him going on tour, he did another film, right, Hans? What did he do?
He's done. He's
No, I
done.
think he was just on tour, no?
No. He made another film, and it wasn't great.
I'm a big
he,
fan.
he
of
made
his.
a bad choice.
I mean, a big.
Was it the Deacons one?
Oh, maybe
the
light one.
Yeah.
Yeah, something of light.
Empire of the Light. I don't know, but he made a bad choice.
Really?
By the way,
I
best
think
director.
it may have even been like the Batman
okay,
or
okay.
something like
Oh, Damsel?
Damsel. What was Damsel?
Oh yeah. I think it was that one.
What was that?
Carlos Franzil. It's a Netflix movie.
Well, moving on.
Yeah.
Again,
No, yeah, okay.
making bad choices. I don't know. I have a feeling like him and Nolan are fucking beefing, dude.
Really?
I have a feeling that they don't like each other right now. Something's going on there because you're not going to just walk away from that partnership.
Oh, yeah, it's Mufasa.
Mufasa.
Hey, wait, check this.
Which one?
We're on best director.
Kung Fu Panda.
Just to keep going. We're
He
going
did
at 3
Kung
already.
Fu
He did Kung Fu. That's my point. He just made bad decisions.
what else
Hans,
he
I'm
did?
sorry.
What?
Are you
Dude.
talking shit about Kung
He
Fu
did
Panda?
Dune. That he picked Dune over this. That's what it was.
Soon?
No, it's here.
No,
Dune
Dune
3.
3.
Yeah,
Dune
Dune
3
3
coming
coming soon.
soon.
Yeah.
Then okay.
Okay.
Check your phone.
Best director. Let's do this.
Oh, no, we're going to come back to that.
Oh, we are?
Well,
So why'd
we're
you
gonna
put it
fit-
on the fucking screen?
Yeah,
It's because
okay,
I'm
okay.
trying to edit this. Like,
Okay.
I want to leave the big ones to the
Best
end.
adapted screenplay. American Fiction, man. I like it.
I was kind of happy.
You know what?
Kind of happy with that decision. Barbie.
Which one was I thought it was going to
There's
be
nothing. Anyway. Adapted screen. Huh?
What happened?
Ask.
Oh, okay.
Best
okay.
adapted screenplay. American Fiction took it. Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Zone of Interest. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
Do you think it was political?
No.
Because it kind
No,
of
dude, think about it
shines
this way.
light on something that nobody
The
wants to
only
talk
one,
about.
if I'm being honest with you, and I know this sounds so like controversial or like counterintuitive, I feel like American Fiction was just a fresh take on things, and the other films, other than Poor Things, weren't doing anything other than linearly. I thought Oppenheimer was gonna win, not because of how they wrote the script, how the script appears on the screen, but of how he wrote the script, because he wrote it in first
Try it
person.
Oh yeah, that is true.
So that was unique.
That is
But
pretty-
I mean,
that's
I
pretty-
I do have a feeling. Oscar voters aren't sitting there reading the screenplays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they're
that's
watching the picture, and you don't have to do that.
So are you
communicate
okay
the
with,
message. I'm okay with American Fiction when
Yeah, me too.
adapted.
Yeah.
Totally cool with that.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. What are you two up to? What are you two scheming?
Oh no,
I was just reorganizing the thing.
we're reorganizing the
So
categories.
yeah, I think for adapted, I'm totally happy with that.
Yeah, I
I
forgot-
loved
also-
American Fiction. I was go back to our other episodes if you want to hear
Yeah,
us
yeah.
get in depth of this. But I'm totally happy with that decision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a great screenplay. I felt like it did a lot.
I'm glad that they
the
tackled
ending
this.
was very different, and we can maybe have a longer conversation
Yeah.
about that. But I do feel like the ability to punch in those moments were like while he's writing the story.
Oh, phenomenal
those-
scene! Phenomenal
Those were
scene.
fantastic. I loved it, and the
And
screenplay was very
the arc of the
punchy.
siblings. I mean,
Yeah,
the
no, no,
the
I
love
give-
relationship.
And then plus,
yeah.
I'll
The
say this
supporting actor, yeah. Though.
during the speech, I loved where he was saying like, "Hey, the
Oh,
next."
I love it! Can I read
Which
it?
one, which one,
I
which
one?
posted it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Which one, which
posted it today.
It's the speech after he won for
post it?
I
best
posted it
original
today.
screenplay. I think he posted it.
I forgot which one.
Did he post it? Yeah.
No,
he
I
did.
posted it.
When?
Somebody posted it.
Actually, I'll play it for you.
$200 million movie. Try making 20, $10 million movies. Or 50, right? 50,
Did that even sound good?
$4 million movies. Like, you can, there are so many people. I just feel so much joy being here. I mean, I felt so much joy making this movie.
And he also goes along saying like the next Martin Scorsese out there, the next Christopher Nolan is out there.
yeah.
And I thought that was so phenomenal. And by the way, they cut to Marty when he says the first thing instead of making a $200 million picture, and Marty's like this, like yes, you know.
Yeah,
It's
that was
very
great.
encouraging, very encouraging, and directorial debut, man. I mean, like.
Fuck off, Boston.
He probably I knew he had screenwritten other things and he was a TV writer and stuff like that. But first screenplay to get made, first directorial debut, and then he wins a fucking Oscar out the
Exactly,
gate, dude.
come
Fuck yeah,
on.
man. I'm all for it, man.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
all
yeah.
for it. So yeah, moving on.
Original.
Screenplay.
Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh
Diego.
man! By the way,
I don't know how to feel about this one.
Kimmel did make a mention at the beginning of his monologue where he's like, "Oh, by the way, for screenplay, it's pretty controversial this year." Oh man, I forgot what he said. The joke.
Come on, bro. You had me already.
You're laughing for no reason.
No, because I know I thought what you were gonna say already.
Oh man, what did he say?
Okay,
Shucks.
Because it's
Here's
and then
the
Jimmy
thing.
Kimmel and
May, December. Kind of feel you guys didn't watch May, December, right? It's one of the fucking nominees. What are you looking at me for?
I did.
May, December
talking
almost
about,
felt like Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh shit.
Except it's not a courtroom drama as much as it is a woman who basically gets caught fooling around with a young kid, and she marries him, and they have kids.
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
it's a true story and shit. And Julia, not Julia. Oh yeah, what's her name? The redhead actress, Boogie Nights.
Oh, dude.
Ju-
She also came out in Big Lebowski.
Yes.
Yeah.
Moore.
Juliette Moore.
Yeah.
Juliette Moore's phenomenal in this picture, man. Natalie Portman, I hadn't seen her this good in years, too.
Oh.
It was a good film. It wasn't great. It was good. But the screenplay felt very similar in terms of execution. And I didn't think May December was very good. Like
Okay.
the screenplay, the story, anyways. I wanted Past Lives to win.
I know.
Yeah,
I
you're
really
very-
wanted this for
yeah.
Past Lives, and by the way, for Best Picture too, I had hope in the end. I was like, Past Lives, come on, man, Past
Sneak it
Lives is gonna
through.
get sneak it through. No, man, it didn't get any love, but
But it was.
I thought original screenplay,
They
Past
were all-
Lives.
they
should've
all
won.
hit really strong,
Yeah.
but Anatomy of a Fall, I remember being my favorite just because I felt like the way they blended in the courtroom like dialogue, the very procedural dialogue with the emotional context, and then cutting away, the blending in of like what could have happened compared to what's
it's-
actually happening.
I
Yeah.
think the best
Like, oh my goodness.
screenwriting, the best screenwriting that ends up being a marriage into the directing is the best screenwriting will present the information and let you decide, right? So Anatomy of a Fall did that. You know,
I
really,
thought
it really did. It really
kinda
did.
slow,
You know?
But once it became like a real court drama, I really was
ramped
engaged
up.
into it.
Yeah, it ramped up for sure.
And then I just feel like they're blending so many different things together, like in the screenplay. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Like I was super impressed with this for being an original.
What about the ending, though?
Huh?
The ending.
Oh, so ending was great.
Fantastic. Leaving it up to the audience
Yeah.
to be like,
Will the kid love her again? Will he see
Yeah.
her the same?
I like it. I
You know,
like
there's
it.
an
Like, it's
interesting
just
kind of, but it's
leaves
his
you-
No
mom
one
and she
wins.
embraces.
No one
It's an
wins
interesting.
at
Yeah,
the
no one
end,
wins. Yeah. Okay. By the way, Diego, I'm gonna get so much hate for reading it, and then I'm gonna try to read it straight so that people don't hate me. But the brother in American Fiction had the most satisfying arc. Homie, we're Mexican. Let's not call him bro. But
but the brother.
Yeah, the
like-
brother.
oh,
in
the
America-
brother.
Yeah.
I don't know about
What do you mean?
that. The most
Oh
amazing
my
arc.
god! Are you?
As a supporting actor,
I know, I
guess.
read it that way.
For the supporting actor, though.
But the most amazing
His
arc.
Dallas
good,
came
it's
out.
good. Yeah, I don't
The
agree with the
arc, I
best
don't know
one
about that.
yet.
Anyways, yeah,
Your
but
Dallas came out there, didn't
my
it?
Dallas came out.
Yeah,
I was
you're
gonna
like,
do
oh,
this
okay.
for a minute too.
Dude, the brother from American Fiction.
Hey, you worded that for you set me up to
No,
fail, Diego.
no.
Anyways,
I thought he had a really good arc. I thought
not the best.
it
It
was
was
It
really
was
good.
good, dude. He won acceptance.
No, but you know what? I
He
think,
won what?
He wanted acceptance from his family.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh.
he didn't win an Academy Award.
Yeah, did you?
He had the best arc, but he didn't win the Oscar.
No, yeah,
he
I
was
don't
I'm
agree with
kidding.
that.
It's RDJ. Anyways, I liked Anatomy of a Fall. This is John Gunn. I love the dialogue. The holdovers was great, but I think personally I would have voted for Past Lives as the winner. Thank you. Yes, Anatomy of a
Is
Fall
that
was
good?
my choice.
God.
Is that good?
It's a palate thing, man.
It's a palate thing?
It's a palate thing, and it's a preference thing.
Isn't that-
Anatomy
not
was
just
one of
you.
my best picks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're happy with that winning?
Yes.
Screenplay.
Absolutely.
Even
Over
Past
Past
Lives?
Lives.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I thought Past
Okay.
Lives did a good job of encapsulating maybe the feeling and I think that goes more towards the execution, but
yeah.
in balancing
Yeah.
out all these different moments and elements and
Okay.
cut twos, I feel like Anatomy.
But Anatomy of a Fall, to disagree with you, John Gunn, the dialogue was not better than Past Lives. The dialogue in Past Lives is fucking great. Especially the husband bits, especially the back and forth on, man, I don't.
What about the argument scene? Even like the one that they highlighted
That was
during
the only
Oscars.
good scene for
That was
dialogue.
fantastic. No,
Her conversations with the lawyer
Oh
were
my
shitty.
goodness.
Her
Yeah.
conversations with the nanny were shitty.
No. I'll disagree. I think it has a lot of merit. I also think that
dialogue?
yes.
No, sir.
Anyway, moving
gotta
along.
pee.
Moving along.
Yeah,
we have
yeah,
too many
yeah.
categories.
Anyways, also Diego said Anatomy of a Fall was beautifully written, very tight. I would love to see it as a stage play. That's interesting. Acting top notch. Definitely. Best original song. This one was not a lock, right? I mean,
man, what was I made for? I mean, this was all over TikTok. This was all over everything. Like, I just feel like everybody loved that song, and then also
it's hauntingly beautiful. That song, man.
Yeah.
hauntingly beautiful. It's
Yeah.
Billie Eyelash is just great.
Billie Eyelash.
I just keep
and then
doing
Eilish-
it.
I know. The Fire Inside, Flamin' Hot. I don't even remember that song. I'm just Ken.
But it was
Oh, by
Becky
the way,
G.
Fun.
I will say I was very happy
Symphony.
to see that the Killers song
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
that they really were, paying honor to like the people who made that song. I didn't know it was
Yeah.
original. I thought that was just
like a traditional something.
Yeah,
No, it was original because they also made history. First ever Native American nominee for best
Yeah.
original song ever in Oscars
and
history.
the same
So
with like actress, but
yeah,
fantastic. I was really happy
then
with
the
all
ceremony.
the performances. Yeah,
The ceremony, right? They did the
Yes,
drum circle.
yes.
That was fantastic. And then you saw Francesca Scorsese, his daughter, she posted on Instagram where she like recorded Marty seeing that, and he was just like, he was just like
you could see
happy
him
that they highlighted
in the
that.
cutaways. Yeah. I was really happy with that. I will say that everybody knew I'm Just Ken was coming up, and I think that was like the showstopper for the
Should it
Oscars.
have been nominated for an Oscar? No.
No.
I almost
I
feel
do
like
love all the La La Land memes that have been coming out.
I also feel like it just got nominated so that he would perform it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
no,
Oscars.
honestly,
Right? I mean,
And I'm glad he actually went all out for it. Like,
yeah, no,
Probably.
they
Yeah, dude.
just
They had
good.
fun with it.
yeah, because what was I made for? If you saw the performance of that, it was super simplistic, but again, that was like the outlier.
by
Like
the way,
it was going to
Mark
win.
Ronson, I think as a songwriter,
Yeah.
Billie Eilish has a little. And now you make me want to say eyelash, son of a bitch.
Eilish.
Billie Eilish. I didn't say it, but I was about to. Billie Eilish has a little more weight as a songwriter. She's a pop star by
this
all
is her
intents and
second
purposes.
Oscar, right?
Yeah,
And
she
she's
had,
younger than me.
yeah, for Spectre, one of the
One of the
James
Mission
Bond.
Impossibles, no? Or was
James
it James
Bond?
No, James Bond.
I think it was
James
James Bond.
Bond.
Anyways, merit as a songwriter, her and her brother Phineas, which is the co-writer of the song.
Yeah.
Great songwriters. Comparatively, I'm Just Ken was co-written by a guy named Mark Ronson, who is a pop writer. He's worked with Bruno Mars. He's worked like
makes sense.
he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? And his songs are almost solely just like pop hits.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish has has evolved as a songwriter. Like she's
Yeah.
getting to more serious territory, and I think
She
this
makes
song
songs
was
that are like on par with like I'd say like Adele. You know.
yeah, oh yeah, that's a
In
good comparison.
being,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was way better.
Well, now, but she's also been there.
Different.
By the way,
Dude,
dude,
after the
after
voice
21,
surgery-
she kind of peaked, didn't she? I mean, come on.
That's true, that's true.
Like,
Wait, who?
After she lost the weight.
No, at the album, Adele's album 21. That was her best
Oh.
album, and then after that, it's
Oh,
kind
I
of
thought you meant 2021.
I
what?
thought we were talking about the eyelash.
Anyways, moving right along. Best original song, totally cool. She deserved
Oh.
it, or they deserved it because Phineas
Yeah,
also
no,
covered.
fantastic.
Supporting actor,
Ah, here we
man.
go. Here
By
we
the
go.
way,
Here we go.
Let me just comment that Robert De Niro looks so upset during this entire Oscar. Like,
Dude, he
let
doesn't
the
want to
man
be
take a
there,
nap.
bro. It's past bedtime.
Let
Yeah,
the-
man. He was the best campaigner for this fucking season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. He was there. He was animated. He was at the
And
interviews
then
doing
they
his
explained why he
thing.
was so tired at the end. He was just kind of
Dude, he looks so.
And he
like,
won the Globe too, right?
Did he?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won the Golden Globe also. Yeah, because
my
he accepted. He was up there like making a funny speech too.
Well, man.
Downey.
I didn't.
Only if we had an intern that could check.
If only, huh?
Hey, yo, Tony.
I think the intern fell asleep.
No, I'll say this. Downey, I think a lot of us really wanted it to be Downey's win. And I think it's because it's his first win, right? Like, he's had a long career. He's had a troubled past.
Have you guys seen the memes? Like, and that's
But
pretty
hold
cool,
on,
right?
no. Whoa. What do you? Okay, finish that. He's had a
Period.
troubled past.
He was a
then he
fuck-
got Iron Man, and
He
then he
didn't
got
win.
this.
He got nominated.
For Globes, who
Yeah.
won the
What are you
Globe?
talking about, Delo?
Yo,
Dude,
what do you
This is the
mean? He was the
biggest-
prince. No, wait.
It's either Robert De Niro or Sterling, dude. I don't know why Robert.
What?
He's good.
No,
Nah,
Castro.
Our DJ won the Golden Globe.
Yeah, he did win.
Yeah, but not De Niro didn't win it.
I didn't say De Niro won it.
You did.
I meant Downey.
No,
I meant
you
Downey.
didn't.
Like
Come
you.
on,
That's why I said he won the Globe too.
Come on, Craig.
No.
Obviously.
Well,
I,
anyway.
I didn't even bring up De Niro.
Anyway.
Anyways, point is,
Don't you be lying, Craig.
Dude, Downey did
Yeah,
a great
dude,
job.
Downey-
He did.
come on.
I'm not. Hey, these were there
But-
for a reason.
but-
I'm saying even Mark Ruffalo would have been a little bit.
Ruffalo.
you didn't see the picture.
No. I'm saying, but I mean, Robert De Niro was great, dude. As the villain,
No,
dude,
I-
he came back.
No, he really did. But
He-
dude,
I haven't seen
I
him-
feel like he was on par with Downey. Like I feel
Listen,
like if you
here's
had to
here's the
choose-
weird maybe.
Maybe.
But hold on.
Oh, God.
Let's talk about this really
I don't
quick.
know.
Downey was
Let's talk about this really quick.
Okay.
I wanted to piggyback off what the was saying earlier because the memes going around with Downey right now is the comeback kid. Downey
How
is
is he the comeback kid?
because he went to fucking prison, Castro, and his
But then
career
he
was
got
over.
Iron Man, then he got the.
But he never won an Oscar.
Oh, I'm sorry that he had financial success, but had
Look,
a,
man,
like,
the
really
only other
crappy
two times he
childhood.
was nominated was for Chaplin and Tropic Thunder.
But y'all acting like
Because he's the dude pretending to be another dude.
dude. Y'all acting like this happened 2-3 years ago. That happened
No,
in the
but
90s.
yes, but his career was shot, man. That was it.
But coming into the
But
Like, they
this
even made
completes
a
the
joke.
circle. This
They-
completes the circle. You won a fucking Oscar.
They even made
Okay,
a
I'll give you
joke
that. I'll give you
about
That's it. You know.
they even made a joke about the Shaggy Dog or like with the Tim Allen film, right?
Oh.
They even made a joke about that, like, oh, the last time like you were this good was like with the Shaggy Dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, so if Brendan Fraser didn't win his Oscar last year, he didn't complete the comeback? Even though he'd been around?
No, but Brendan Fraser, he hadn't done anything good for a long time.
Fraser.
Fraser.
Also, I
Fraser.
mean, did Downey?
Bro, he's been in all the Iron Mans. He did. Oh, come on.
Okay, hold on. How about The Rock? He's been in all the Fast and
Nah,
Furious.
come on, bro. Nah.
No.
you're-
I
that's
wouldn't go that
reaching,
far.
bro.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah,
I
come
know
on,
what you're
bro.
saying, but at the same time, what of Downey's have you seen of merit in the last 10 years? Endgame ended fucking 8 years ago, didn't it?
He
Or
did
7
the
years ago?
Judge, right?
He did the judge pretty good. There we go. Thank
Wait,
you.
wasn't he also in the pianist?
No.
The violinist, the one with
Yeah, with
Now we're just
with
naming instruments,
with
man.
Jamie Foxx. With Jamie Foxx.
yeah, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
I didn't see that. What is
That
that?
was good. It was
The
about,
Zodiac. Come on, bro.
That was 20 years ago.
No, I'm saying
but
he's had a comeback for a long time.
Yeah.
With Jamie Foxx, it was about Downey going and finding this kid who was an amazing violinist.
Yeah.
And he would just perform underneath subways, and he thought, I can take you out of being homeless, and I can bring you up, and I can get you an apartment and all that. And
Who was the kid?
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
How long ago was this?
It was like 2009.
Okay, look. He also did Dr. Dolittle.
10 years. I said the last 10 years. 2014.
But
the
I'm
last
saying,
10
but
years.
I'm saying he's had a
Now,
comeback.
John Gunn says it's the soloist.
The Soloist. That's the name of the
Okay,
The Soloist.
you didn't have to add the exclamation point in the comments.
no, wait, hold on,
I'm allowed to
hold
make
on.
mistakes.
I appreciate
Post
it.
Marvel. Post Marvel. People think his run with Marvel ended 2 years ago.
No,
it ended
it's
fucking almost 10 years ago.
You're talking about
Post-Marvel.
a comeback
No,
that
it
was-
didn't.
When was Endgame? We said what? 17.
That was 2020.
No, it wasn't.
No, 17.
No, it wasn't. It was
Yeah.
like
6
2017.
years ago.
2016. Almost fine. Round up. Almost 10 years.
2019.
2019. Okay, fine.
See? 5 years
5
ago.
years.
Yeah.
What has he done in the last 5 years?
Of
merit.
You know what he did?
know, I
You know what he
know.
did? You know what
What?
he did?
But y'all talking like he was-
established a strong family.
Mute his mic. He's not getting mic privileges for 5 minutes. Okay, hold on. Let's read because we're getting some comments.
Since Endgame, he did Doolittle
Oh, come
And-
on.
Oh my
and,
god.
What do you mean? Come on.
and Oppenheimer.
Okay. Moving on. Give
No,
Downey.
it's just-
Okay,
I'm saying,
let's read the
y'all
comments.
talking
Read the
about
comments.
90s,
Let-
bro.
scroll up, Austin.
They make movies.
Not good movies.
Dropping Thunder, come on.
10 years. 10 years.
But I'm saying, like, from the 90s, he's had a bunch of, like, there's no way
A
he's a
bunch of
comeback.
box office hits.
But
Guys,
you can't.
Guys, so the last non-Marvel thing he did was The Judge in 2014.
Dude, this is what I'm saying.
Hey, that was 10 years ago.
Marvel is financial
But y'all
success.
talking about comeback kid.
No,
Comeback
no.
kid is
Marvel-
somebody that fell off a long time ago and then came back.
Give us an example.
came back
Marvel is a financial success, but
Because
the
of him.
Academy isn't going to respect him.
But-
This is the first time he's getting
Bingo.
respected
No,
by
no, no, I
peers.
know.
Tell.
I'm
just
sorry
give me-
we went on a whole rant.
Give me an
but-
example. Give me an example of like what you would consider a comeback kid.
I would consider him, but like 10 years ago. Not now.
No,
This
but again,
completes
this
the
is
circle.
No,
acceptance.
I get that. I get
you
that.
know?
That's beautiful, actually.
Accepted
Let's
by the
scroll up on the
Academy,
comments, Austin.
But a comeback kid is somebody that like went off into drugs like
Okay.
he did, and then
Downey, oh shit, Downey was my pick, and he was great. But his performance in Tropic Thunder is still the best. I'll die on that hill.
Oh, okay.
yes.
Come on, man.
Yeah, come
You're
on.
gonna tell me his performance in that was better than Oppenheimer? Come on, come
Are you
on.
being sarcastic right now?
No, I'm not being sarcastic. Come
He's the
on.
dude playing the
Nah,
dude.
he's
disguised
justifying
as another
blackface.
dude.
Moving on.
He's justifying blackface. Okay, racist.
Oh,
No, I'm
y'all
kidding.
crazy,
he
bro.
was great, but my personal favorite supporting actor performance wasn't even nominated. Charles Mountain. What did Charles Mountain do?
Charles Mountain.
Clearly, his best performance was Doolittle. Sarcasm. I think your Tropic Thunder one was sarcasm too, buddy. Scroll down.
Nah.
Who was Charles Mountain? The husband?
Charles Melton.
Yeah, the husband. Okay.
Okay.
A
Well,
little
it's
undercooked.
okay to be wrong.
It's okay. A little undercooked, John Gon. Good actor. A little undercooked. I
Okay.
think.
Next
agree
in
with the
our
Tropic
best.
Thunder, though.
Best supporting.
Oh my
I
god!
was so happy she won.
Let me just say, I loved the holdovers. I
Totally happy with
loved
that.
everything.
For a brief minute, I thought Emily Blunt was going to take it.
Oh, what if he
Dude,
For a brief
I
minute.
loved the holdovers. I thought it had such a touching
Yeah, you were a
story.
big avid of this one.
Yeah, I know you thought that Austin would find it to be his favorite, but
rage.
Divine
Joy Randolph's her performance phenomenal. The kitchen scene, grieving and
I
really
didn't
Audible
smoking a
rage.
cigarette. The thing with the
Oh my
sister
God.
when she gives the sister the basket and
dude,
stuff like that. Yeah.
like the punch of her character to really like make you
Fantastic.
feel everything,
Absolutely.
and then her acceptance speech where she was like, "I didn't think I was
Oh, that
supposed to
was
be
great,
here."
man. By the way,
Like-
this is not a race thing. This is not a race thing. But she really did give me these remnants of I hope somebody cuts this. Like just cuts it for social
Don't
media. or
tell me
something.
about Marlon Brandon. Okay, no. Okay, I thought you were
You didn't even say
Brandon.
who's Marlon Brandon. Marlon Brando.
No, he's
It's
lesser known
late, my
cousin.
guy.
Oh, it's his lesser known cousin. I got it. No. Hattie McDaniels. Hattie Daniels from Gone with the Wind. She was the first African American woman to win
okay,
the Academy Award,
Okay.
and they didn't even let her into the ceremony. She wasn't even
Oh,
allowed
that's
in the
right,
ceremony.
yeah.
When was this?
1920 something.
Yeah.
1928.
Yeah,
Maybe a little later.
It's pretty
19
recent.
No,
that was
1931. That's
pretty
right
recent.
there.
I was like,
Castro. I
holy
don't know. What does the year say?
Yeah,
Hattie McDaniel. I think that was her name.
Hattie McDaniel, yeah.
I want people to cut that together. I think
Yeah, Hattie McDaniel.
Hattie McDaniel. I really love it.
1939,
Nah,
according
now
to
you
John.
just
39,
crazy.
39, 39.
You're talking
Also,
crazy,
he
Jonathan,
put
now.
inaudible rage. after the
Inaudible
last
rage.
comment.
Her and Robert Downey Jr. were the
talking
two
crazy
safest
now, man.
locks for
Nah,
winners.
nah,
Sure.
nah, nah.
Hey, Misty! I really need to see all the movies because I'm just here.
Here's
I'm
that.
just here nodding my head, listening to everything, supporting the tower. Yeah!
Well,
Thank you for
Misty, thank you
supporting
support.
Tower,
We
and
appreciate it.
also
This
real
is
quick.
kind of an encouragement to go screen these
Yes,
films if you
no,
haven't.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Misty, for you doing like makeup and wardrobe and everything, I think you would love watching Poor Things.
Things.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot going on, but maybe you could even give us more perspective.
Poor Things
on
and
the fact
Maestro.
that,
Poor
yeah.
Things and Maestro, because we thought those were the two contenders,
Yes,
right?
no,
So let
no,
us know.
fantastic films, and also thank you for being here. You're
Yeah,
just a
you're
wonderful
awesome. We love you, Misty.
member. Yeah, everything.
We'll talk soon. I promise. We got something coming up down the pipeline.
Love Misty.
Best
What do you
actress.
guys want to tackle first?
We did actor first last category. Let's do actress this time.
Yeah.
Annette Bening, Nyad. I didn't see Nyad.
Not me neither.
I didn't see this
Jodie Foster won, right?
the Killers one.
Mute his mic. He loses mic privileges
No.
for 5 minutes.
I'm gonna go get the security guard.
Yeah. Lily Gladstone, There's a Flower Moon, Sandra Hewler. Am I pronouncing that right? Sandra Hewler?
Hewler?
Hewler, Anatomy of a Fall, Carrie Mulligan, Maestro, Emma Stone, Poor Things. Which one? Emma Stone. I
was
loved her
so
acceptance
happy.
speech. She was my favorite acceptance speech of the night. I loved it.
No, it was
she was
genuine.
just so genuine. And
Genuine.
I don't
I
remember
don't
her
think she was
doing this.
expecting it.
Pull up.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think it was a genuine surprise.
She thought. By the way, I heard a podcast with Lily Gladstone where she's saying that Emma texted her. Like this was before last night. Emma texted her. What?
Same? The
Oh,
suspense.
Emma texted her saying like, "Hey, I know this is your first awards,
ceremony thing.
no, well, like you're campaigning."
Oh, okay.
She's like, "I think you're doing great. Don't panic. Don't freak out." Like giving her advice. Like Emma Stone was telling her, like, and
Nice.
Lily Gladstone was
That's
like,
why in her speech, she was like, I hope we get to go through this.
yes, because she was like helping her. You know, like she probably knew like she's a lock.
I did catch that.
You know, so I thought that was really sweet of Emma.
That
You know,
is.
and she's an Academy Award winner already. You know, she didn't need to do this shit. But
So when do I unmute her?
her speech here was a better speech than her speech for La La Land's win. I just loved it, man. I just like it made
I
me
forgot
feel
the La La Land.
warm.
Why
I love the
La La
whole,
Land
like,
was
my
too
dress is
scripted?
ripped.
My dress is ripped. Just, like, turns out.
but also I was.
We can't hear you.
Please.
Please.
Okay, during the
If you
red
yell
carpet.
hard
Uh-huh.
enough-
During the red carpet.
There you go.
Emma Stone was saying how she was involved with this project for like multiple years, like when they were
For Poor Things?
Yeah,
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
were developing it and everything.
When they were doing the favorite. They were already kind of talking
so
about it.
I mean,
Oh,
and
wow.
all that really shows. Like when you watch the film, my
She
goodness,
really cares for this character.
she
cares
cares
about Bella Baxter a
She
lot.
wanted to do so much justice, and also I feel like as an actress, you really saw her give everything.
Yeah, for
towards
sure,
this
for
role.
sure.
So we were all thinking that if Lily Gladstone wins it, one
Political-esque choice.
political-esque,
However,
very talented.
I think Lily Gladstone is a fucking powerhouse of an actress, man.
Yeah.
A standout. You're gonna sit there with two of the greatest actors of all time and go fucking toe to toe.
But really?
Yo,
But really?
yo!
What
You're
the-
gonna go toe to toe with Leo and out act him in a scene?
And Bobby.
Yo!
In A scene, not the movie.
What?
A scene.
A scene?
Most of the movie, she was just
Do you mean
there.
icing?
A scene.
I think he thinks that she's a best supporting actress and not a best.
Oh, what? No, what's acing?
Just a scene.
Like,
Oh,
is there
a
a scene
scene.
where she
Yeah.
really like punched through?
Yes!
Which one?
Oh my gosh, the basement scene. When
No,
she
yeah,
discovers
yeah.
the sister dies, all of the trajectory of her getting sick, and dude, come on, come
Same.
on.
Emma,
Anyway.
It looks like Emma was a little bit
No,
better.
Emma was
Emmy.
substantially
Emmy.
better.
Emma.
John Gunn
I'm
says
just-
Lily Gladstone was my pick, but I was legitimately happy Emma won since her performance was
I'm just
legit
being
phenomenal.
honest. It was-
Fantastic.
We
I think that was all of us last
yeah,
night.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
We really wanted Emma to win, and we were thinking, oh, Lily's gonna take it
I will
for
say
sure.
this: Lily Gladstone's going to win an Oscar in her lifetime. She is.
Absolutely.
My
Wait
think
for
when
it.
I voted for
I
Lily
think
was
Emma
that they
will win
were
another one though.
gonna give her the win because it was more historic, kind of how Michelle, won last year.
How about you stop mumbling and read it for the people? You're already reading it.
But Emma winning reminded me of when Anthony Hopkins beat Chadwick Boseman for Best Actor. Everyone thought Chadwick was the lock because he had just died.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad they didn't pull. I'm not going to say because you guys are just going to get upset. We're going to go on a rant. I'm glad that they didn't go political for sure.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I felt like the entire awards didn't go.
So you agree with me?
Yeah.
No, they went on a lot of talent.
No, I
in
do.
her.
I do.
You do
I
agree
do.
with me?
Emma's
Next
better.
category.
But Lily Gladstone's a fucking powerhouse of an actress, man.
Well, I remember I was here and I told you guys. So y'all think Lily Gladstone? There's nobody else. Like, well, maybe Emma.
no, I've been saying Emma since
I was like, all right, thank
no,
you.
bullshit.
We
I was
wanted
like-
Emma to win.
I've been saying Emma since I saw Poor Things and was like, yo, Emma.
Yesterday was
Emma's
different.
the-
I asked everybody. Everybody's like,
I
it's
was
a
here
lock.
late, so I don't know.
Next category.
Take out an exposure.
Hey, but by the way, fuck you because
It Yeah.
Because you wanted Carey Mulligan to win. Not just you, by the way. Oscar, if you're still here, fuck you. You didn't win. Carey Mulligan, not a lock.
You,
I knew this.
you.
She was good. She was good.
You're cool. I'm out.
By the way, did we just skip cinematography?
Oh, we gotta go back to it.
Oh, okay.
Best actor: Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer.
Oh, God.
Not Cillian, by the way. Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction.
You know, I saw a lot of people, and I didn't even think about it, that were upset that Bradley didn't win.
Yeah.
Because the whole, like, he spent 6 years learning how to...
And then he did
Yeah.
everything, and it still was good.
Wait,
I
6
also
years doing
kinda-
what?
To learn how to, like, compose.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
he was, I told you guys, he was in development for this thing for 7 years. Like,
Yeah.
the script getting handed down to him and him writing it from the
Oh.
original source material.
Because there is an art to write. Like,
And then you got
Yes,
this Murphy
of
guy
course.
that's just fucking looking at the camera.
Guster, you've seen the movies, right?
Shit.
Hey, Guster, you screened the movies, right?
I mean, I look at him.
I hope you watch.
Look at that sexy
But-
Irish
no.
accent. But
I
short
mean,
of that.
Cooper was just
He was
dove into this
fantastic.
character,
Pitch
like,
But, you know, I'd say that Cillian Murphy was...
Cillian Murphy. Cillian.
Yeah, Cillian.
Cillian.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Cillian Murphy, I mean, did it for longer. Like, I mean...
That's true.
A
He's paid his
3-hour
dues.
picture, yeah.
He's paid his dues.
What?
He's
That's all
paid.
the editing. What
He's
do you-
paid his
Hello,
dramatic
really?
dues. He's paid his dramatic dues.
For sure, but that's not why.
Bradley Cooper
not a
hasn't
reason.
paid his dramatic dues.
Dude.
It's not even
His career.
to that point. With that type of film,
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter about your dues or anything. That was a great.
You're right.
Performance.
You are right. You are right. Because
It
I'm
doesn't-
always bitching about actors being chosen because of their token
Exactly.
Oscars. So yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oscar
And I'm just
Nicole
bullshitting about
says
Murphy.
he can't
On what?
on YouTube.
Makey stick can't wait, but she lost. Carey Mulligan lost.
Yeah. Cillian, I feel like, was well deserving. I mean,
Jeffrey Wright, too.
Oppenheimer was a fantastic. Jeffrey Wright, I mean...
He's growing
even-
into something new.
Yeah.
He's growing
even
into
the
a new
weakest
chapter.
one. Like,
Good way to put it.
I feel like a soft part of me was just like, I wish Giamatti got it.
Yeah, because
But Giamatti did a good job. Like,
This
you know,
is the
and
really
he's always-
controversial. This is the really
I think
controversial
they're
thing.
used to him doing such a good all the time. That's why I like.
But-
But in this case, he was the lead and
they're
not
just
a
used to it, I
fucking
guess.
character actor.
it wasn't a
you know what I
side
mean?
guy.
Yeah, it wasn't a side. And not just that, but like, also it's important to note, this is the weird controversial. I kind of like that it exists, but this is the weird controversial thing about the Globes versus the Oscars. The Globes has 2 categories where each actor could win.
Yeah.
Comedy and drama. Giamatti won for comedy. Remember that. He won the Globe for comedy.
Oh, okay.
Whereas Cillian won for drama. And
Okay.
typically the drama winner at the Globes is the one that takes it in the Oscars, right?
Also, we didn't mention this for Divine when for her
Oh, yeah,
award,
yeah.
but Giamatti walked her up. That
Oh,
was
did
very-
he? I didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That was when my phone was cutting out in the road.
That was the very beginning of the Oscars.
Yeah.
It was the first award up.
Yeah, but no, I think Cillian deserved it. Man.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
absolutely.
as a full-rounded character, Bradley did something amazing because he was also directing and producing, man, and writing. I mean,
And then you take that away, and it's still a good movie. Like, and
Yeah,
then
it's
you
great.
put
Yeah,
that back
fantastic,
in, it's like
fantastic.
holy shit.
no, Bradley killed, man. And don't get me wrong, the last few films he's done, I feel like that started taking a turn when he did Burnt,
Oh, what do you mean?
his career.
What do you mean though?
After when he did Burnt and On,
What?
that's where he started shifting into a dramatic actor.
Oh, okay.
Right? And the growth is there. I mean, you see A Star is Born, holy shit. We need I'm more impressed of Bradley being a director right now. I'm more impressed of him as a director right now. Use your words.
As a director, but then also as well, but still putting on top of director.
Yeah,
but
I
also
think
as
for
well as
me,
the actor, right?
he's impressing me 100
just-
times more as a director right now.
But as an actor,
He's doing great. He's doing phenomenal work.
Yeah, he's like, I'd give him a star.
No,
Would it be boring?
Maestro was
Yeah.
phenomenal, and the performance was phenomenal.
thought it was
But as a director,
Yeah.
I gotta hear the voice
like,
again.
you know what I'm very
You know,
curious
just,
about?
I can't do
You
it.
know what
just
I'm
go
very
over it.
curious about?
I need to know the secret.
I'm curious about him doing two
yeah.
things.
Curtis.
Honestly, Cillian was really good in his
Exactly.
execution, but I just feel Bradley had
I
the
100%
gusto.
agree.
Did I mention I like men?
By the way, I just want him to see. I want to see him do two things in the next few years. Bradley,
All right.
I want him to act in something he's not directing again.
And take somebody other than his mom to an award show.
That's awesome.
We're tired of it.
That's awesome.
What? Do you hate your mother?
At
Yeah,
what
dude, you
point
mother hater?
is he dating his mother? If he
Do we need to talk to Ann and see why you don't love her?
Yeah,
you
bro.
leave Ann out of this.
I'll take Ann to the Oscars, baby.
I'll
Don't
take
I
you
don't
worry.
want you to. No, I was referencing a joke that Kimmel made during the Oscars where
He pointed her out. Right?
yeah, he was like, at what
The
point?
pants.
He's like, at what point are you just dating your mother, man? And then the camera
By the way,
cuts.
I just think, I just want to see. I'm just curious at this juncture of his career. I want to see him act in something he did direct, similar to Nightmare Alley.
Okay.
And I also
Oh
want
my
him to
God,
cast
Nightmare.
somebody other than himself in the lead. I just want to see what that looks like.
I think this is just once. That he's just gonna do this once.
I don't think so.
You think so?
He just did it for A Star Is Born. He did it twice already, technically.
Dude, I feel
He
like
also directed Star Wars.
Yes.
and I'd say that
My bad. My
I'd say
apologies.
that for Maestro, he took a lot of very experimental risks that I think if he leaned into more, for
The only
sure,
reason I
shoo-in.
think you're right in that front is imagine doing this every 7 years.
yeah.
I mean, he took 7 years to develop this
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
you know. So it's
Well-
that's a little tough.
Okay. Okay.
I
think we're
voted
at-
for Cillian Murphy. It was great and definitely deserved it. But low-key was rooting for Paul Giamatti. Maybe it's one
We're that way. too.
heavyweight hairy guy supporting another heavyweight. Heavyweight, John Gunn.
Anyway,
Paul
we're
Giamatti?
at 3 hours, so
What do you mean they're not heavyweights? Both of them?
we're
No, he means himself.
anyway. 3 hours. Let's best.
you got a hot
I know, dude.
You got a hot date? Because it's
Yeah.
not with Ann. We know that much.
Wow. How
By
have
the
you
way,
known?
I didn't touch on this earlier, but
On Ann?
with the supporting. Was anybody else
It
like?
was there. You had to take it.
Yeah, it's
Mom, I'm sorry. Turn it off now.
Was anybody else happy that Key was the one that gave Robert Downey Jr. the Oscar?
Who?
Key Hae
like,
Kwan.
okay, Kwan, yeah.
And like he was all excited too
yeah,
about
yeah,
I also felt.
yeah. Yeah, when he announced it.
No,
Yeah.
but we
he-
didn't bring this up
he
before,
yelled
but I
it.
also felt the same way about Spielberg giving
Oh,
Nolan the
yeah.
Oscar. Again, if it was him giving it to Marty, it would have been like, cool.
Yes,
but,
yeah.
but he gave it
Also,
to. That was cool. I like that.
The fact that during the award show for all the actor categories,
They brought out 5 past winners.
Yeah, dude.
That is interesting.
That was great.
Fascinating.
Yeah, because they
And
also
then
brought,
each of them, instead of like playing clips, they would like.
Why
tell
do
us
you think that
something.
is, Dilo?
Huh?
What do you think that was?
I didn't think it was like just good directing towards the show. They thought
Yeah.
like, how do we honor them while also
we
like
do something fresh?
recognize, like
Yeah,
all
because
the people
everybody's
that have
used to
been
the
before.
here are the nominations.
That is true.
And then
Yeah,
they
no.
play clips.
It also
they-
felt a little Hunger Games, though. I don't know how to feel about
It's all a little all-star NBA kind of
but no, I liked it. I thought it was great. It was fresh. It was a new take on it. And the whole, like, I mean, it was a little fruity to do the whole, like,
No, I loved it. I
like that?
loved it.
You like that?
There was some of them that really weren't like heartfelt, but-
genuine.
Yeah, but there was someone like
Yeah.
that
No,
was
but
pretty-
some of them you could tell were
Like
written.
when
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
highlighting Ryan Gosling for Ken, where a lot of people were like, I know what you're all thinking, like, why are we looking at Ken? But then saying, like, you brought humanity in the role, you brought,
Exactly. See?
Who said that
personality.
who was the one that did him?
Was it Kingsley? I thought it was Kingsley that, like,
Oh, my bad. I might have been.
yeah,
You might-
where he
Was
was
it
like,
Kingsley?
you took something that could have just been, like, inanimate,
yeah, it
and
was
you,
him.
you gave it life, you know?
By the way,
See, that's good. That's
winner.
better than just
Ryan Gosling wins the Oscars.
Uh-huh.
He's such a good sport about everything. Promoting this picture, good for him, dude.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I loved it, man. I loved it. By the way, when Emma Stone accepts her Oscar, and the
I think
the
it might have
breaks-
been when it was just Ken.
yeah, I think it happened when it was just Ken, and he kind of
Oh my
winks
God,
at
and
Ryan.
then
I was
when he
like,
did the song,
Lord!
when he did the song and, like, held the camera guy's hand.
Oh, that was
yeah.
great. That was choreographed, I love it. I think it was choreographed.
Oh, for
think
sure.
so?
for
yeah,
sure, for sure,
absolutely.
for
I
sure.
love it. I love it.
Imagine the camera guy he's gonna be like,
All right, 3 more categories.
Three more cinematography.
Cinematography. Thank you for saving.
I was gonna save the live action short until like now.
Hey, why don't you
Oh,
put
I gotta
director
be
at the end, Dick?
Let's see.
Well, Best
though.
Pictures, yes.
Please elaborate
Well, I mean,
to the
your
people
top
that
three
saw
deserves to
Oppenheimer
be down there.
why this was
What?
visually pleasing.
We already covered it.
Why it
What,
was
directing?
visually
Yeah.
pleasing?
No, we haven't.
I don't have to
Yeah, we
explain
have.
shit
No.
why it was visually
Oh, I
pleasing.
thought we did.
No.
I'm so confused.
Okay.
No, I
Anyway,
reorganized it.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't make this PowerPoint, he did.
I'm not good.
It's the horrible.
It's great.
It's horrible,
Nobody's
bro.
seeing this except us. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's
I know
great.
John Gunn said he loved the idea. It was a little weird.
Misspelled.
Most of the winners were reading a prompter.
Why
But
is
he
it
could tell
green
that
in some
Brendan
areas?
Fraser went off prompter when he was talking about Jeffrey Wright. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cinematography.
Cinematography.
So, all right, let's do this. Best director.
Best cinematography. El
Why
Conde?
not?
You didn't see El Conde?
I didn't see that one, but I saw everything else.
I'm extremely curious.
You saw everything?
Everywhere, all at once.
All at once. You're supposed to say
Killers of the Flower Moon and Oppenheimer, I thought were big standouts for cinematography, just because the challenge of creating a distinct visual language over a long film,
Definitely.
It's super challenging. I mean, you know, how do you not repeat shots? How do you do something that's always going to speak towards the audience? How do you create metaphors in every single moment you can?
Yeah.
Have intentionality. It's super challenging. I loved the execution of Poor Things because, again, back to that whole sentiment of it being this wide-eyed child, that's what you want the audience to experience. It did that, and then it knew how to focus back in. Once Emma Stone's character was matured, it didn't have to be wide anymore. It could just be very centered and focused in. Maestro, on this scale of just recounting somebody's life,
I thought it was a
while
standout.
still having a lot of these beats that were very metaphorical, very telling of where the character's at. Super,
I would
impactful.
have even put Maestro over Killers. I think.
Yeah,
I thought the cinematography was
again.
Thank you.
They're both Maestro, Poor Things, El Conde, which I didn't see. I think they all have extreme merit.
Yeah.
I just think that a big challenge and a big respect when it comes to the cinematography community. Somebody being able to do that for an extensive amount of time for a film.
Does anybody disagree? Should Oppenheimer not have
no,
one
no,
for
no,
cinematography?
because I will
you're
say
you're not anybody. You're spoken.
I don't know. I know no camera. I know computer edit.
Oh no camera. Do you disagree? Do you feel like something was stronger than
Nah.
Oppenheimer? Yeah, I think we're on the same boat.
Yeah.
also
You don't have
the
to
fact
fight.
that Oppenheimer
It's because he was like getting ready to throw punches. I was like, yo, we're
Yeah,
good. It's okay.
come at me.
Hey, brother, we're good.
No, also Oppenheimer, let it be known, developed a new film stock
Yeah.
for this to be done.
Total Killers.
And well, who cares about some stupid flower?
That didn't win shit.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
We're live, by the way.
We're live, baby.
So that's a line from a film.
Unfiltered, uncensored,
Yeah,
and
fantastic.
all you want.
And unclothed. Stick
Best
around.
director, no surprises.
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
I just think Christopher Nolan's so cool, man.
I think your mama's so cool.
I'm just saying I called it when we saw it. When it
Yeah.
first came out.
I love that Justin Triet and Scorsese and Lantimos. I'm not gonna say T-Block Laser. I thought they were. I thought it was great that they were getting love elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know, Santa Barbara International Film Festival.
yeah.
You know, stuff like that. No,
Yeah.
you idiot. No, I just feel like I'm happy that they got recognition and like Scorsese won lots of awards kind of in the film festival route, and he was kind of the talk of the town for like he had won for the New York Critics Association, so the National Board of Review, which is a huge award, kind of outside. That's not mainstream, but it's a great award, and
And I know, like, at Cannes, he got a lot of love.
he kind of got a lot of love, and DGA too, man. Even though Nolan won, Scorsese got a ton of love at the DGA. So
It was great, dude. I think it was
yeah.
my favorite.
They're not. You can
Yeah.
tell. You can tell it wasn't just like a token, like "Good job, old man." It was like
Yeah.
he's still fucking kicking. But
I
Nolan
love
was
Killers.
the better director, just like Bong Joon-ho was the better director that year. You know.
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened this way.
Yeah.
I'm just happy Nolan finally got his Oscar.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
at the end of the day, I don't feel bad for like Yorgos because he's
It's
gonna
so-
win an
yeah.
Oscar in his lifetime. He's just going
Dude,
to.
yeah.
You
no.
know?
Also, like, it bugs me that so many people are like, "Oh, this is for Memento. This is for The Prestige. This is for Dark Knight. This is for Interstellar." I'm like, no,
It was for Oppenheimer.
this was for
No,
Oppenheimer.
yeah, I don't agree with that either. Yeah, you're
like,
right.
I
yeah.
do think Oppenheimer was his best film.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think anybody was disappointed with that win.
Yeah.
everybody
totally
was-
cool with that.
But the win we were all disappointed with was
Dun,
Best
dun, dun,
Picture.
dun. I don't know about all, but I mean, it makes sense, right? to
Yeah,
an extent.
dude. Holdovers?
You keep saying that.
If you keep saying that, it's not going to make it any truer.
Yeah.
Go on. No, dude, I feel the same way.
man.
I feel the same way about past
Castro,
lives.
roast him. Go for it.
No.
Past
You got
lives.
center stage here. Let's go. Just let
I'm
him have
center
it.
stage. All right. Oppenheimer, way overrated.
Oppenheimer.
Oppen.
Barely knew her.
Oppenheimer,
I'm sorry.
I really knew it.
Oppenheimer barely knew her.
For me, it was past lives, baby. I was still
Yeah.
holding some
Yeah, I
hope
gotta
for
say,
past
die,
lives.
man.
You're showing so much love for
I
it.
was just a poor thing.
You're still poor.
You know, Pacino really was not in the zone of entry.
Dude! Oh my gosh! By the way, I read an article that they were like, it played even worse in person. But like, if you were in the audience, you were like, what the fuck is going on?
Really?
What did he say? What was his full speech?
What speech?
No, what
he
did he
mumbled
say?
So I got it in my hand.
Yeah. Basically, he was just
I
like,
opened the envelope.
open the envelope.
I see
And,
it says
uh,
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I see that it says he said the producer's name first, Nolan's wife. He said the name, and then everybody was like, he acted like you should know what I'm trying to say, and he was like, Oppenheimer. Like he was just, there was an expectation. There was this.
Oh man, even like the Oppenheimer crew getting up like, do you want to stand first? Because I don't know.
Everybody was expecting him
Dude,
for him to
even
be
the
like,
orchestra was like slowly
yeah.
coming in.
I think everybody was expecting him
God.
to
You
be
know-
like
you know-
like my sense of a woman, like
Dude,
I'm in the dark here, you know, like
You know, the
Dude,
worst.
Mikas and Ricky were joking around, and we're like, when Pacino was like shaking hands, we were saying that he was probably like, all right, who's got my cocaine? Somebody's supposed to give it to me.
I was promised a pound.
No,
Who's
and
Alex?
then
They
it was
told me
so-
Alex has my shit.
The fuck is my Dunkachino, motherfucker?
It was such a weird cut when Pacino is about to hand out the awards, and you could tell like after he opens the envelope, they hand him the statues, and then while Nolan he's doing this. Did he really?
Yeah, he was like doing this. He's
Dude,
like,
if you cut to it, it's like
you know. That's so great.
Yeah.
And then, by the
weird. It
way,
was so
after he
weird.
does it, somebody, a presenter, will like, gracefully exit the stage by the side or something. He darts through the people. He just walks there. Just get the fuck out of here, Oh my gosh,
still,
man.
really,
The fact that I love it, man. I love it. Oh, this is great.
Here it comes.
M.I.C..
You got to claw for that itch.
Everybody's like, okay.
Yeah.
I think they were scared that it was another La La Land moment,
No, I'm just.
Oh, and he
wait.
kept his Oscar. I thought that he gives it to somebody just so he can
At
sit
the
there.
end,
No,
so they
man.
engrave them. They engrave them
Oh,
at the
yeah,
end.
yes, I
At the
remember.
party, actually.
With Leo.
They
He
engrave him.
said that he seemed more invested in Jack and Jill than he did at
Yeah.
the ceremony.
Burn this. Burn this. The world can never see it.
Cheeto.
Oh my god. Wait, I'm really looking forward to when you can see a little dance, because his
That's
dance.
what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, give it a second. Let it naturally play out. We don't need to
And
rush
see
it.
if we can
Glory.
Yeah, wait, and then come on. Oh no, it just
No, but he did this.
Yeah,
He's
he's like, come on. Hey, don't you like awards?
so I won one of these 50 years ago.
Dude, it's like my uncle give me an award. It's like, hey, you like it? Kind of heavy, yeah.
Oppenheimer was
it's
my
not
pick,
chocolate.
but Past Lives was a not too distant second. I definitely agree with Nolan as a winner, but I've nominated Celine Song. I agree. Celine Song should have been nominated. Zone of Interest or that would be a fall. Absolutely. Over Zone of Interest, for sure.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Celine Song should have been nominated.
Son of Inches was just
So that was
a miss.
the 96th annual Oscars, guys.
96th Annual Academy Awards.
Biggest snub?
Asteroid City.
Asteroid City. We're going to talk about Asteroid City next
Maestro.
episode, so tune into that.
Next episode's The Departed on Sunday.
Oh, we got a bonus episode. It's St. Patty's Day. So we went all out, man. Like
Dunkachino.
Austin decorated the office, and Delau brought beer.
Wait,
and
well, we haven't done that yet. How do you know?
is bringing beer.
We wrote the script. We just got shit.
Yeah. No, but check it out. We do The Departed as part of this just bonus episode for St.
Ooh,
Patty's
yeah,
Day. We're
St.
trying to do a little more
He's
of
the
that.
second person I've heard that from today.
Zac Efron and the Iron Claw.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot too.
Jaime from Double Scope told me that today too.
What-
I
what-
thought he should have been nominated.
Why not? Why not?
Didn't it just come out too late?
No, it came out in time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But what was A24 campaigning this year?
That's true.
Right?
Zone of Interest.
Zone of Interest,
Zone of
yeah.
Interest.
That they're going to make those choices,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it
ultimately.
won.
Also,
Yeah.
Zac Efron's jaw was just distracting to me.
Wasn't he like in the whole
Everybody
accident?
keeps saying that.
By the
Dude,
way,
it's because
No,
like
I
is
see
different.
it. Don't
It
get
is
me wrong.
different.
I see it. It's just like,
It is what
are
it
you
is.
guys
yeah.
surprised it took him this long to get plastic surgery? It was kind of
no,
like,
he got in an accident.
Yeah, everybody.
but it's plastic surgery. Like it was fixed through plastic surgery.
Yeah, but when you break your jaw, like when they fix it, your face changes.
Well, yeah.
the whole rumor is that he
I mean,
wanted a
what you know? What's
man
distracting
ear.
about
It's
it?
like,
The
no,
good thing he works in Hollywood, man. It's just more defined.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's just the perfect jaw now.
We're not used to it with him. Yeah.
He looks like the Crimson Chin. In,
oh my god.
all right, that wraps it up for this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Do you guys have any other take? What did we get wrong? What did we get right? What did they get wrong?
Thank you for sticking around
Yeah.
for this 3
Let
plus
us know
hour.
in real
Does
time.
record
Whoever stuck
timing-
around, I don't know how many viewers we still got, but
Yeah.
in real time, let me know. Jonathan says he looks even more like an action figure now with the crimson chin. I'm telling you,
He looks like He-Man.
Yeah.
he looks like He-Man. That's true.
Yeah.
Let us know if this live thing works. Do you guys like it? We like it.
I like it.
We're talking about doing this for the cafe, like just going live at the cafe, like live switching, like a little more consistently. And the cafe's back. So go to Aaron and George's Film
yeah.
Cafe. It's
Aaron and
open.
George's is
I was
back.
so sad that I was out of town for the grand opening, but please go
Best
to
cafe
Aaron
in
and
town.
George's Film
If you haven't
Cafe.
gone, yeah.
We'll be
Get
chatting
out
with them
there.
to see what our schedule is going to look like moving
Yeah,
forward.
but go support them.
Yeah, go support 'em, go support
'em. We are so happy that they came
We're
back.
so happy to have a film cafe.
Yeah.
And I think they have like a whole revised
it's
menu.
been-
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, the drinks
I was
now.
seeing online that they're doing their eggy creams.
Yeah,
but
But
in
they're
a
doing
real
it
glasses.
in a glass
Oh,
bottle.
yeah, instead of plastic.
Yeah, no, fantastic people.
Yeah.
We're so happy that they're back. We're just immensely glad. That
We'll
they're
chat
back.
it up with them. We'll chat it up with them to see when we can be back there. But we're gonna go just to
Yeah.
support because we love those guys.
No,
so
but thank you
Doug,
for-
Rebecca, but thank you guys for sticking around. Let us know. But really, does this work? Does the live format work?
Yeah.
Is this something that's we like the engagement of it all, and that's what we're trying to do.
Thank
Is
you
just
for
to talk to you guys
pitching in
more.
the entire
and-
time. You know,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
just saying hi.
Thank you guys. We had a lot of John Gone. Obviously, thanks for sticking around, and Ian and
Diego,
Oscar,
Misty,
Diego, Misty, everybody, Bones. Thank
Yeah.
you guys for
Bones
chiming in. We appreciate it.
Ian.
Should we do this on Discord? I don't know, or on Twitch. I mean,
Yeah, that was a really bad.
yeah, I know that was
question.
bad. Should we do this on Twitch? Will Twitch be a better format? Will more people be
He's
engaged?
sounding like my dad
I
trying to
gotta
go.
I
on
don't know.
Twitch.
Do you guys know if we have a Ian
A
says he
Twitch
likes
audience?
it.
I like it. Hell yeah.
Should we? Is there a big film community on Twitch that might follow something like this? No. Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't ever suggest that. Oh no. But this was a lot of fun.
That was
And-
great.
and,
I love it. Love it.
We gotta. We
Sunday,
have,
The Departed.
we have to rent a switcher for this. Come on, guys. Put a light.
Shout out to Double Scope Rentals. Go check them out and go
Oh,
rent
yeah.
from them because they're homies and
Yeah.
they help us out a lot. And we rent from them anytime we're gonna do a film. So go check them out. They're awesome.
Absolutely.
So
fun,
Jaime,
guys.
JJ, Ralph, thank you guys for always coming through.
Also, thanks to the people in this room. This was a lot of fun.
This is great.
This was.
And I really feel God in this Chili's tonight.
That's the MVP back there.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, you never seen The Office?
Hey, we
During
got a
the Dundies episode?
yeah. We got a comment from John Gunn. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Tower. Where's that from?
Wow.
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 It's the man on the moon, man.
Booze
Oh, yeah,
man.
Bruce Almighty.
No!
Oh, booze man.
Dude, I got that out from nowhere.
Boom!
Hold on. If I don't see
Booze
you
man.
Think about it. He signs off his show every night with it.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Truman Show, man.
Oh my god.
Give me my hat back.
Was it when he hits the at the end?
Yeah, and then he finally ends it
Oh,
because
my
that's
bad.
his tag.
Dude, I got.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to the WatchTower Film Podcast Live Edition. We'll see you next time. Go watch The Departed on Sunday, and on Monday,
Snub.
The Departed. The Asteroid City Snub.
Snubby snub.
Oscar Snub. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for engaging.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Love you.
Love you more.
I love you. All right.
Okay.